Open tabs, margin notes, highlighter, bleed through quotes. Research mind, steady eye, patterns only she can note. I-90 fog, whispering under wheels, skyline, afterglow. 2 states, packed rooms, quiet minds that know. No sign needed out front. They circle to her voice. Questions rise before she starts. Curiosity by choice. She pivots mid-lecture, checks who's leaning in close. Say the part you skip out loud, that's where the learning goes. Heads home with the speakers up, Biggie in the background. Monster mapping theories while the city slows down. She teaches the why behind the crime, the hurt behind the face. Philly in her backbone, psychology in her grace. Don't let the hype fool you, she stands 10 stories tall. She don't just teach the lesson, she teaches you through it all. Late nights with case files open, notes in the margin glow. She's showing you your story's roots, so you can choose where to go. Yeah. Biggie quotes inside the slides, right next to coping skills. Spread love between the lines of how a nervous system feels. Long days, quiet grit, humor in the punchlines. You are more than this moment. Written 10 times, old assessments in a folder, ink dust on the sleeve. She can map anxious attachment before you know you grieve. 1 foot in Jersey lecture halls, 1 on the Philly street. Home is where she learned to fight, classes where we don't repeat. Grown kids texting check-ins, pride she doesn't post. She teaches minds all day, then goes in mother's most. Case files, true crime, mind behind the scenes. She doesn't tell you what they did, she shows you what it means. Your story is not your diagnosis. You are allowed to rewrite it.
Hi y'all, I'm still in my pajamas. Do I have my microphone on? I do. Hi everyone, welcome. Happy Saturday. Good afternoon or evening, depending on where you're at. I'm still in my pajamas. You guys, have you guys found Amazon haul yet? HAUL. It's my faves. $10. Shorts and all. So cute. And comfortable. Look, aren't they cute? But we're in pajamas because it's Saturday. Happy Saturday. We're jumping off as Jaime today. We are not Dr. Vona. I get to have a day off too. So today, if you're looking for a very academic run live, not so much today. Today's going to be more like jumping off as Jaime, just like I said. But I didn't like get to do my makeup or anything. I washed my face last night and my eye makeup is still from last night because I did one of these where you go all the way around because I was just so tired. That's how like jumping off as Jaime I am right now. Like I literally am still a mess. I haven't done any of my things yet to get ready for the night. The Flyers play tonight. So there we go. You're still in your pajamas too, Harlot? You woke up 20 minutes ago. I love that for you. Love that. Hi, Diane. Let's see who's here real quick before I start. Oh, look, a squirrel's here. You're catching alive. Cuff U's here. Oh, Z Young came back. Hi, Z Young. Welcome back. A Higgins is here. Dawn's here. I mean, I don't know why I just said Dawn. I meant to say DDWM. I don't know why I just said it like that though. A Higgins, I think I might have already said you, but you're worth saying it twice. I'll say it twice for you and your wife. There you go. Oh, Diane is here. Maybe I did see Diane somewhere. Oh, I think I said Dawn, not Diane, duh. Okay, so hi Diane, and hi DDWM. Mwah. Hi everyone, come on in, come on in. We're jumping off as Jaime today. Today is not going to be like PowerPoints or anything. I literally am like, I'm a human being too. So sometimes I just have opinions like everybody else. And it has nothing to do with my credentials. It has to do with me being human or being a mom or being a female or whatever the case may be. So like I said, I put it in the title, jumping off as Jaime. So hopefully nobody's expecting academics today. I'm off. Oh, you're a makeup artist? Is that what it stands for? Oh. I love makeup. I don't know how to do it all the time, but I love it. I still play with it. Right? Oh, A. Higgins. Everybody say a prayer for A. Higgins. We're praying for you, A. Higgins. Today, you guys, let me see. I think Cuff-U sent me an email. Thank God for Cuff-U. Cuff-U is so helpful. So one of the things before I get to all that, because I saw this in Cuff-U's other email and I had it up, so let me go to this first. Let's say we're going to go to... Found it. Okay. So this is... I want to change my thingy here. That way you guys could kind of see me. I'm either like really small or really... I don't know. Look, I'm playing around. I hope everybody took their Dramamine until I figure out which one I want. Let's do this one for now. We'll do it. Okay, so real quick, we started to go over this last night, and this is, I said this is the medical examiner's report about Celeste. And we started to go over this. We didn't get through all of it. And there were a few things that afterwards I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot, like we didn't go over this. I wish we did. So I do want to go over some of this basic things here, but then we're going to jump over. There's a really good video that I started to watch that I definitely want to watch with you guys. It was posted in Discord, but Cuff-U might have also sent it to me, so I'll have to look in a minute. But let's go over this real quick, just as far as why people are still coming in. Just to go over some of the basics in case, I mean, I doubt anybody's just coming into this case, but if you are, David, D4VD, is a singer and songwriter, I guess you would say, but he's also, he did a lot of Fortnite gaming, and that's how he originally gets into streaming and stuff. He winds up having to create his own music so that he doesn't get copyright striked, and in doing so, he tells everybody that they could use his music and that he won't copyright strike them if they do. So people start playing his music, and his music starts to get out there. He gets well known. He says eventually his music started getting more hits than his Fortnite, and he makes a change, right? So we went over a bunch of videos last night from his TikTok, from the very beginning all the way up until a few days after, or about a month after Celeste is allegedly, when they think she was gone, which I believe they said was April 23rd of 2025, so about a year ago. Okay, so real quick, we're looking at a Hispanic female, okay, who is 14 years old when she dies. She weighs approximately 71 pounds, but remember, her body was dismembered and there was advanced decomposition. So, you know, there's many reasons why her weight would be 71 pounds and not a little bit more. Her height is 62 inches, which is about 5'2". Her BMI is 12.9, which is going to be below average, but that's because her weight probably isn't, you know what I mean, where it's supposed to be. Hi, Wing Matchbox. Welcome in, you guys. Welcome in. So it says skin. See evidence of traumatic injury. Then there was postmortem changes. Let's see. So tattoos, present, fingers, right, second, medial. Okay, this was the one that said shh. So in case you guys don't know, Celeste runs away. They eventually, her brother, we watched an interview last night. So in last night's live, if you didn't see it, we watched an interview with her brother. He was so distraught, but he says that he knew she was going to the movies with her boyfriend, David. But I don't think he says that, like, he knew it was, you know, that David. I'm not saying that he doesn't know that. I'm just saying from the interview that I watched, that wasn't what I really got there. So you guys, they found the finger that says shh. However, if you guys remember last night, we looked at a picture of a ring, and like where she has a wedding ring on, or like an engagement ring in the one picture, and you could see on her hand, on the one finger, it says David, and it's written in like red ink. 2 of her fingers were missing. And one of them was the one that said David. What do you guys think about that? It said she has long hair, no facial hair color black, eye color other. So description cannot be assessed due to severe postmortem changes. So real quick with the eye, one eye was missing, and it wasn't, we talked about it last night, it wasn't that it meant that somebody necessarily removed the eye, although we don't have evidence that they didn't, but it's probably more likely that advanced decomposition occurred and that there were, I was so impressed with myself as far as remembering what Joseph Scott Morgan said, but this woman that I watched, she also is a medical examiner, and she said the same thing about multiple generations of flies. I was like, oh, I did learn something. But anyway, they talk about how the flies and that maggots are scavengers and that they eat off of dead tissue. So it's very possible, because, and it says that half of her head was skeletonized. So it's very possible. And this sounds gruesome, and I mean, I don't even know another way not to put it. So, but it seems like it might have been that her eye could have been missing due to insect activity. There we go. I said it without saying it too bad. Okay, so we see, but again, some people are saying that, you know, they took an eyeball or he took an eyeball or whatever. I don't think that we can really say that. It says, let's keep going. All right, evidence of traumatic injury, okay? So the order in which the injuries are described is for descriptive purposes only and is not intended to imply a sequence of injuries. All medical examiner diagrams are not intended to be, what is that? Facsimiles. I don't know why I couldn't say that. I can't see, on my screen it's like, it looks like it's the other. I don't know if you guys see the same thing. Nor are they drawn to scale. Okay, so we have to know that when we say it, nothing's drawn to scale. Diagrams used for injuries, form 21 and 2. Skin defect, 3/4 of an inch. Entrance, involving the right abdomen, 21 inches below the top of the head. And remember, so what did they say she was? About 60 inches. So this is about a third away down. And 1 inch right of the midline is a 3/4 inch length penetrating wound with smooth edges, which I think we find could coincide with a knife. The wound is oriented in the 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock directions. The path, the wound track sequentially perforates the skin and soft tissue to the right of the abdomen and the liver, 1.5 by 1/4 void defects. So the depth, the wound attack, and look how the wound track, has an approximate depth of 1.5 inches front to back. You guys, why is this important to me? Because front to back, that means he was like standing looking at her. So, you know, and again, who would want to get stabbed from behind? You know, not that one's better than the other, but we know that he was facing her when he does this. Like, so she saw, I don't know, that just makes me so mad. The skin, 9/16 of an inch, there's an entrance involving the lateral left lower chest, 15 inches below the top of the head. So that's not that far. And the head on top of the head and 6 inches left of the midline is a 9/16 inch penetrating wound. This is the one that was around the heart, right? With smooth edges. The wound track sequentially perforates the skin and soft tissue of the lateral left lower chest, left The wound attack has a depth of at least 2 inches. Left to right. Oh my God, you guys, look. Over here it says direction front to back. So like that. Left to right. Would that be like a slash almost? Do you guys know? That's a question. I don't know. And again, remember, this is jumping off as Jaime today, not Dr. Vona. So nobody expect very much. I'm in my pajamas. So what do they mean from left to right? Yes, Cuffy says yes. So like a slash. Wow. But it was 2 inches deep. Or no, 1.5 inches. No, this one was 2 inches. So this one was deeper than the one from front to back. That's interesting. It says the adjacent ribs show disruption of the cortical bone. Other findings: multiple skin defects are also present over the torso, with many perforating the skin and soft tissue without identifiable soft tissue hemorrhage or associated internal organ injuries. So what does this say to me? So let me say that again. So there's perforations of the skin and soft tissue without hemorrhaging of the soft tissue, which is associated with organ injuries. So they range from, it says many. So this is the thing, you guys. Wow. They range from 5/16 of an inch to 1 3/4 an inch in greatest dimension. Multiple superficial linear abrasions are also noted on the right dorsal hand. Wow. You guys, I don't think I realized. That just says to me, that's like sick. Right? Hi, Steph. That's sick, you guys. Think about it. It says many, which means that there were too many for them to like there were a lot. If there was like 3 or 4, they would have said 3 or 4. But many is, to me, just seems like a lot. And that's more like slashing, right? Or like trying to get someone, but you're like, it says multiple superficial linear abrasions are also noted. Ugh. The upper and lower extremities show full thickness dismemberment with relatively flat cut surfaces through the soft tissue and bone. No discernible hemorrhage is identified at these sites. Multiple fragments of blue plastic material are found embedded in the cut surfaces. Representative fragments are collected by the medical examiner criminalist and submitted to the evidence department on September 8, 2025. The right upper extremity is dismembered 9 inches from the top of the shoulder. The left is 6 inches from the top of the shoulder. The left 4th and 5th fingers are amputated, and they're the one says David, and the other one's the pinky finger next to it. So I don't know why both fingers were amputated. I don't know if the one gets amputated because of the force of amputating the other one. I'm not sure. This is just my opinion, jumping off as Jaime, that he would want to get rid of the finger that says David on it for obvious reasons. That actually makes it more, that looks worse in my opinion, because why would someone who wasn't David feel the need to take off the finger that says David? See what I'm saying? So I feel like it makes him look guiltier by having 2 of these fingers amputated, one of which says David in a tattoo. Like, talk about, not that they couldn't link her already from the being in the car, but in my opinion, there was probably, another date where they were gonna, because I can't imagine, why would they keep her in the car that whole time? Does anybody think that they were waiting for her to like skeletonize and then they were gonna move her again? I'm not sure. But I'm surprised that they did that. Diane says, cutting her, slashing, just not deep enough. The torture, in my opinion. Oh my God, Diane, you took the words out of my mouth. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that this had to be torturous. Cuff, I don't know if you want to send Truth a message. I don't know if she got the message that we're on, and I would hate for her to be like, why didn't you bitches tell me? I don't know why I just thought of Truth when I'm talking about the fact that they were torturing her, but I think because we've talked about torture before with the BK case. So, and here, I feel like just like with BK and his fantasies, I feel like David has his fantasies here. And I mean, talk about torture, you guys. One of the medical examiners that I watched on YouTube was saying, and again, they had, the credentials, but I'm not a medical examiner, so I can't really say, but they said a few things that I thought were interesting. So the one was that the wounds that she did have, if she was somewhere, like let's say that would have happened by an accident of some sort, like let's say a car accident, right? And that those same 2 parts get perforated and they get her to the hospital right away. That with the right medical staff, that she might, you could survive those wounds. all of those little cuts for me is literally torture. I can't imagine. Have you guys ever like gotten a friggin' paper cut? They hurt. Could you imagine? Ugh. Why not remove the one with the matching sh on it? That's really a good point, Joanne. The only thing I could think is, for whatever reason, they weren't worried about that particular finger being found. They were worried about the one that said David. Steph says, have you heard or seen any confirmation? Oh, Harlot, I thought we see it in one of the pictures. That's it, Harlot. That's right. A lot of people out there, that is right. So maybe not on the East Coast, but I know on the West Coast, a lot of people have this tattoo. I know Rihanna has it and stuff, so maybe he just thought that that tattoo alone wouldn't identify him, but the one that said David might, especially now that she's found in his car. But in my opinion, I don't think that he was going to keep her in his car forever, because that would tie her back to him, right? I'm actually surprised that she was still there. Rumor has it that David had a Saw 3D printed. So Kim, last night, hi Kim, last night we did a live and I go over the whole 3D printer. I 100% think it was 3D printed. Jay from Guilty of Crime was over here too, and she let us use one of her videos, and that's also in the live. And she works at a 3D printer, like she runs the whole shop, and she was showing us too. And then we went on YouTube and we watched a few videos of how they work, and you 100% can make a saw from a 3D printer. Hi Case, be careful. Oh, hi, Birdie. I don't know if I said hi to you yet. And Steph, how are you? Oh, Steph, I haven't seen you in a while. How you been? I haven't seen it myself, no. I'm guessing. So I did, you guys. Did you guys see the picture where it says David? Now, could someone say that someone got a red ink pen and could have wrote David? Sure. They could have. But I don't know what you guys think about that. Her being in his trunk is going to raise eyebrows, right? You think? And she, I don't know. Wow. There's just so much here, you guys. It's so bad. So let's just keep going. So the blue plastic that we do believe, or I believe at least, is, in my opinion, from a 3D printer. And God only knows how many other weapons he had 3D printed. He, in his one video after, is cosplaying, and he has on like a wig and like a skirt like thing that he looks like a warrior type, or that's what he's trying to look like. And he's got a pick, like a big like pick, and he's going like crazy. If I maybe I could pull it up to show you guys, but it's just wow. But in my opinion, could that was probably 3D printed too. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. Casey, that's funny. You should probably do that. My microphone's on point now. Yes. I think I was like just doing too much, and it was like messing things up. I was like doing too many things, and that's what was the problem. Okay, so I'm glad that you came back though. Thank you for trying it again. Thank you for trying me out again. So the upper and lower extremities show full thickness and dismemberment. This is the thing. The other thing I learned from that medical examiner that I was saying is, and I want to correct this because last night I talked about this on my live, and after my live, when I was watching this, like laying down, I was like, oh damn, I wish I would have heard that before my live. But I said I didn't know, and I said that I would assume that it would be easier to cut along the joints. However, this medical examiner said that most people think that, but that's actually not true. That's interesting to me. I don't know what you guys think about that. Oh, could you imagine? I don't know what they took, or if they took anything, but I mean, 2 of her fingers are amputated and they're not there. So where would they be? Do you know what I mean? So I read this part. Oh, here we go. The right. Okay, so as far as the lower, it says the right lower extremity is dismembered in two places. One site is 12 inches from the top of the leg, and the other is 10 inches from the bottom of the heel. The left lower extremity is dismembered in two places. One site is 9 inches from the top of the leg, and the other is 15 inches from the bottom of the heel. So this, in my opinion, you guys, shows that they were trying to make almost equal sized pieces. I guess cutting her legs into 3 each, so 6 pieces. Why would you want 6 pieces? Right? And we're looking at approximately, 9 to 12 inch pieces. That's interesting. So, internal examination. So looking in the body cavities, the organs were in normal position. The right cavity smooth, no fluid. The left smooth, no fluid. Let's see. Heart weight, 100 grams. I don't know what it's supposed to be. This is the cardiovascular. Shape, usual. Pericardium, intact, no adhesions. None, smooth. Normal, let's see. If they were able to tell that there was no arteriosclerosis and that it was right dominant coronary. I don't know what that really means, to be honest. Oh, Bernie. Yes, Birdie. Thank you, Birdie. Thank you so much, Birdie. I appreciate you. You have no idea. Wow, thank you. That was so very generous of you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Woohoo. Okay, let me go back to this. I'm such a nerd. Okay, so, wait, let me put that up for a second. I feel like that's what the least I could do is put it up. I want to show people on stream. There we go, Birdie. Thank you, Birdie. Okay, here we have no calcification, none of those things. So I guess in other words here, nobody could say she had a heart attack because they're looking at her heart. Everything looks normal. There's no clogged arteries, none of the things. Everything looks great here. Okay. The respiratory system, absent of lesions. So there you go. It's unobstructed. So her lungs, that's good to know. I hate when I hear that someone's lungs are compromised, right? Because then you feel like, I just feel like that's probably one of my worst fears is like drowning or like suffocating. As far as like fluid getting in your lungs, that seems like a horrible way to go. But so I'm glad to see that her lungs, at least, she was able to breathe. She unfortunately probably bled out. That's a horrible, horrible, horrible story. So trigger warning on this one. I would hope that nobody clicks on the live without knowing that this whole case is a trigger warning, no matter what it is you're talking about. Okay, so over here we have, in the stomach, there was no contents and there were no pill fragments. Okay, so what else do we have here? Let's keep going. The urinary tract system, smooth, nothing there. So everything seems normal there. The bladder seems normal. It was empty. Female reproductive tract. The uterus was present and not enlarged and without endometrial lesions and hemorrhage. Ovaries and fallopian tubes appropriate for her age. Ugh. Vagina without lesions. Breast tissue without lesions. Other female reproductive tract findings, severe postmortem changes noted. So what I think here, and Kim, I'll get to your question in 1 second. What I think here is exactly DDW Dawn. He likes gore. He said it, right? I feel like this is just showing us that there was a lot of torture here. It was like a slow, painful, I'm assuming, death, and that is just so traumatizing in so many ways. Let me see what Kim says. Do you think she was put in a freezer? So, because the skeletal upper half. I don't know. I have to be honest, Kim. I don't know how a body breaks down as well as I probably should be. But yes, I do. I do think so. And let me tell you why. He allegedly took her life on April 23rd. They said that they don't think he dismembered her until May 5th. So from the 23rd to the 5th, we're talking 10 days, right? So I know, don't they say like the body, and please somebody let me know if you know more than I do, but don't they say that the body, like right away, you immediately start going into decomposition and that smells start to occur pretty quickly? I can't imagine a body being around for 10 days. And you know what I mean? So it wouldn't surprise me if she was put in a freezer. Isn't that horrible? Yes, she died in the spring. I think she was in the freezer too. I think they then moved her because he was going on tour. So he probably figured while he's on tour, he has no control over somebody going into his house. Like, could you imagine his mom or someone going into his house to clean up for him before he gets home and opens the freezer, she goes food shopping? And so I think he probably was scared leaving there with her in the freezer, and therefore he transfers her from the freezer to the car and then starts moving the car around. They said after the car was moved for the very last time that they immediately get into the tour bus and go on tour. So that just says to me, like I said, that I think he was cognizant, or wait, I'm jumping off as Jaime, not Dr. Vona. Let me back up. I think what he was thinking was, if I don't get this girl out of the freezer and somewhere else, I have a huge chance of getting caught. And if I get caught, bye Joey, love you.
He's not leaving.
Oh, you're not leaving. Okay, be careful, you guys. It's raining. Love you. Oh my God, it's so cute. Me and my brother are best friends, and my daughter Ava walked in, and I thought she was with one of her friends from high school, and I was like, Joey? It's my nephew. And I was like, that's so freaking cool. I had like, well, I almost had deja vu, but me and my brother still hang out all the time. But I had deja vu from like 20 years ago of us being younger, because he was 3 years younger than me. Like 2.5, 3 years, and that's about how much my nephew is. So it's maybe less. They're a little closer together in age. But they're out on the road now. I was like, oh. But anyway, so here, going back to this with jumping off as Jaime, I think, you know, and I'm sure you guys agree. I don't know though. Do you agree? Hi, Trishy. Do you guys think that he was thinking about the fact that he's about to go on tour and he needed to get her out of the house, if she was in the house, or out of whatever freezer he may have had her in? Because this is the thing. Although I think frozen and thawed, I think so too, Birdie. So because I think she was frozen somewhere, I don't know where. So I don't know if she was put somewhere else and then taken back in the car. I mean, I'm sure the car is going to give us the clues that we need. Does anybody know if the private investigator, Steve, I believe his name is, right? Does anybody know if they found a freezer? Questioning, I'm wondering. You guys, you could call me Jaime today. I'm jumping off as Jaime. I'm not Dr. Vona today, so I don't know who that is. I almost said I wrapped her up and put her in the closet, and then I'm like, wait, don't say that. That does not sound very right, especially when you're talking true crime. So let me take that back. But I'm suppressing Dr. Vona as much as I can today and trying to be just a normal member of society for once. Okay, so let's keep going. So her thyroid is present but pale, and it's symmetric. Her pituitary gland, no severe postmortem changes. Let me keep going. All right, her thalamus, not identified due to severe postmortem changes. What? So this is just showing, in my opinion, that her brain. Aww. It's in the Joseph Scott Morgan video. Where can I find that quickly? I know you're going to punch me. I know it's in the Discord. That's not when I mean quickly. I just meant, can you throw it in chat so I could click on it? I know where it is. So you guys, there's severe postmortem changes. Look at all this stuff. This is all the brain. I teach this. I know my brain. Oh wait, I'm not Dr. Vona. I forgot about that. Sorry. But this is the brain. It is what it is. It's the brain. So, but there were severe postmortem changes. Oh man. Her spinal cord was not examined. Wow. Special senses, eyes, not dissected. Middle ears, not dissected. Photos were taken prior to and during the examination. Layer-wise anterior neck dissection. No trauma, no muscle hemorrhage. Okay, so all the things were no there. Then we have, it says stock jars, quantity 2. Oh, they kept 2 jars for tissue? Oh my God. The liver had severe postmortem changes. Okay, so they make slides, I guess, of those tissue, and the first one was of the liver, and it showed, the liver shows extensive autolysis that precludes further evaluation. So I guess it was broken down so much that they couldn't get anything else from it. Additional samples were taken from the finger, the nails, liver, jawbone, and then the bone. Wow. They did a toxicology, all the things. All right, there we go. Let's see. Okay, so as far as the drugs, I don't want to get into this too much, only because it's in my opinion that the things that were found, a lot of them were able to be explained away by the medical examiners that I watched. So for example, it said benzos were present and so was meth. However, when they come down here, so what the medical examiner said was that when you get this over here, when you get this PP here, so you know, like it needs pending, I forget what it stands for, like pending, like it has to be investigated further. When that happens and you come down here, you see that it was not determined. Okay, so it was not determined. We have 2 inconclusives here, but the medical examiner said that sometimes our body, not sometimes, when our bodies decompose, we create certain chemicals and gases, and that we actually create a certain level of alcohol. So that just says to me that the little bit of alcohol found in her system might not have meant anything either. So what does that say to me though? It says to me that she probably wasn't on anything that was altering her thought process, and that's just my opinion. I don't know if you guys see something different. I didn't see anything about marijuana or anything, but I don't even know if that's something that they test for here. I'm not really sure. Or if they'd be able to find it in here. However, yeah, so Cuff-U says our bodies decay, and in that process, it produces many chemicals that can be mistaken for alcohol, and even some meds. Yes, like hooch, that's right. You guys are so smart. Look at all you. She wasn't high at the time of death. I agree with you. I don't think she was high at the time of death either. We did go over this last night, so I'm not going to go over this again. We went over that. We didn't go over that other part that I thought was important. We didn't go over this right here, the multiple defects, 1 inch to 1 3/4 inch right here in the back. So I guess, you know, she's getting hit from the front and the back, and I'm assuming that, I mean, she could have gotten hit and then like scrunched over type thing to try to get away from it, and that could have exposed her back where he continues to go. And it looks like he like spared her. No, you know, like he didn't spare her anything here. It looks like he totally tortured this girl, in my opinion. And then afterwards we see the absence. It says here, so the last 2 fingers are cut off here. Again, I don't know, in my opinion, if I had to guess, I would guess that the pinky gets cut off because he's trying to cut that ring finger that says David on it. And again, look at that, right? Think about that. Just as a mom, if your kid on their ring finger gets their boyfriend's name at whatever age, even if you're 30, I mean, although, like, let's say you're married and you have a job where you can't wear rings because, like, my husband's an iron worker. They're not allowed to wear jewelry at all, whether it's your wedding ring or anything, because it could get, like, I forget all the things, but it would get, like, melted. There's just all the things that they're not allowed to wear them. So some guys will get, like, a tattoo, wedding band type thing. I'm like, really? It's okay. There's no need to do that. I feel like I'd be jinxing myself. So I'm like, don't do that. Like, we're good. So, you know, when we go out, he puts it on, but when it's time to go to work, it doesn't go on, so he doesn't have it on all week, which is fine with me. However, if I was really insecure, I might insist that he get some form of tattoo so that people knew he was married, and I think that's what some people do. So I'm wondering how much this tattoo was less of her being like, I want a David tattoo, and more of him wanting to know, because you could take the ring off, right? But you're not going to be able to take the tattoo off. So even if she went out and took the ring off, because I do know, just if you read the stuff that, you know, was written that is available, and I do want to show you guys, Zav girl showed an alleged, she has like certain text messages, and there's one of people asking him afterwards about like if everything's okay or what happened. So you guys have to remind me to show that. I just looked up and it was in the corner of my eye. I'm like, oh my god, I can't forget that. But there's just so much here, you guys. So we have, I think that's it for here. We're going to switch over to a video next. Let me just make sure I didn't skip anything. I don't think I did. It took 2 hours to do the autopsy. Okay, the information is preliminary and subject to change due to an ongoing investigation. According to the reported information on 8/26/2025. Wait, what? Oh, a passerby, that's right. I'm like, wait, she didn't get found till 9. I forgot they first found the car. Passerby reported an abandoned black Tesla that was parked on the street to the Los Angeles Department of Transportation. The employee cited the vehicle on 9/3 and then again on 9/5 and then towed it on 9/8. A manager noticed a foul smell emanating from the vehicle and reported it to Auto Detective Clure. Detective Clure inspected the vehicle's front trunk and found a large black zippered body bag with handles. He partially unzipped the bag, revealing a human torso and the back of a head. Could you imagine? He pronounced death on scene at 1100 hours without medical intervention. There's no person of interest in custody at this time, and charges are pending. No weapon recovered. Oh well, it says charges are pending. That's interesting. All right, let's see if there's anything here we need to say. I'm not sure. It's like the same stuff. It says the identity is unknown. There's no person in custody. It's the same thing. That was the exact same thing. There was not illicit drugs, drug paraphernalia, or alcohol on the scene. No weapons were located during the examination either. He does note here. Wow. So this was the body examination. I do kind of want to go over this, you guys, and let me tell you why. So when you first get to the medical examiner, before they could even do the things that we were reading on the slides, I mean on the pages before, like you can't do slides until you do dissection where you get the tissue, right? And then you make slides out of it so you could do further testing. First though, when the body comes in, they have to examine the body. They do all the things like taking pictures, making measurements, weighing the body, so all that stuff. So I do think that this part's important because this is what was documented right away from what they saw. So I observed the decedent's posterior head and torso lying prone in a body bag. That is crazy to me. They're only like $25 on Amazon, by the way. In a body bag inside the front trunk of a Tesla. Her head was oriented towards the north. She appeared indeterminate age and ethnicity with dark hair and natural teeth. Just saying that they couldn't determine at the time. She was wearing a tube top, underwear, leggings, and socks. I observed multiple holes in the front and back of the tube top. Oh, wow. I didn't hear that part. What? Casey, you have a tattoo? A wedding band because my weight fluctuates. But that's the thing. You did it because you wanted to do it and because you wanted to make sure that you had a ring on. So that would be different than if your husband was like, Casey, you either have to stay the same weight or get a wedding band. You know what I mean? Like that would be ridiculous. But the fact that you did it is actually like a nice gesture. You know what I mean? Good for you, Case. There's nothing wrong with it. It's when somebody is told that they should do it or that, you know, or if the person feels insecure unless they have it type thing, that's when I think it's an issue. Yes, Cuff You. So Cuff You says, well, he stabbed her, so it makes sense. However, as I'm reading this, I know that obviously it makes sense, but this just gave me a visual that I don't think I was thinking before. When I looked at the body diagrams, I'm thinking of the body, but to think like right away they saw holes in the tube top, like I'm like picturing it in my head, like as if it were, I was reading it in a book and I had to, and that's why I was like, oh wow, because it hit me different than it did when I read it before. So this said, she was missing both arms above the elbows and both legs above the knees. Underneath the body bag was a black trash bag that contained the decedent's apparent compiled bilateral arms and legs. They appeared to have been dismembered into several fragments. And we saw there that her legs were cut into 3 pieces each. So there were 6 leg pieces. And the arms, we're going to see. Wait, let me just look. It's right above here. The arms, let's see where the cuts were real quick. Oh wait, maybe it was up further than I thought. All right, now I just got to look. So look, we have 2. We have the one at the top. Yeah, so 6 inches in and then the other one 9 inches in. Wow. So that was probably 8 pieces in the bag. Ugh, at least. Okay. All right, back to here again. I'm right back where I ended. Okay, so underneath the body bag was the black trash bag that contained her, her arms and legs in several pieces. The decedent was in advanced state of decomposition demonstrated by a foul odor, discoloration, liquefaction, insect activity, partial skeletization, and skin slippage. I noted an approximate 1-inch linear defect on her abdomen and circular defect on her left flank. The left ring and pinky fingers appeared to have been mutilated, and I did not locate them during my scene examination. She has a tattoo that reads "shh" on the inside of her right index finger. Isn't that so interesting, right? And just for people that know, like this is so that if you go shh, you can see this shh right here. That's crazy. I did not observe any other disconcerting scars or tattoos. The decedent was not ID'd viewable due to decomposition of the face and was not live scanned due to waterlogged fingers. Oh, she was assigned Jane Doe. Oh man, that's so sad. So then, per investigation, Magliano or whatever on 9/16/25 at 8:15 hours, Dr. Law positively identified the decedent as Celeste Abigail Rivas Hernandez via dental radiograph comparison. That's so sad. The next of kin, her parents, were contacted via telephone. Aren't they supposed to go to your house and knock? So they just called the parents and were like, hey, what's up? Like, we have something to tell you? Oh, Trish, it's okay. I'm sorry. I get it. We'll save your seat. Don't you worry. I get it if this is too hard for people. I do get it. You guys, what? Why didn't they go to the house? She didn't live that far. They could have had somebody in her jurisdiction or whatever go if they didn't, like, wow. Okay. Detective Bears requested a 2-hour autopsy notification. Evidence. Leggings were collected. Her underwear was collected. Socks. 2 socks. Her shirt, body bag handles were collected. Body bag side handles were collected. The hair kit was collected. Insects. Swab of the handle, swab of the other handles, the zipper, both zippers, toenail, DNA, collected. Trace number 1, blue plastic pieces on the right leg. That's the one that we think could have been 3D printed. Trace 2, blue plastic pieces on the legs and arms. Oh, definitely, you guys, right? Because it's on all the things. A trash bag was collected. The zipper bottom and the zipper at the top were collected. Wow. Okay, so this just shows that when they arrived on the scene, how they processed the evidence, what they did afterwards. This detective says that when he arrived, the trunk was open and the body bag was unwrapped and open to view the decedent. The decedent was dismembered and was inside a black body bag and black trash bag. The decedent was severely decomposed and there was decomposition fluid on the outside and inside of the bags. The decedent was female and had dark hair with decomposition fluid and insect activity. Also, insect activity was observed on the body and the body bag. The body bag had a double zipper, 3 handles on each length side, and a handle on the top and bottom within. The body bag took most of the frunk space. Inside the frunk, the body bag contained the decedent's head and torso in a prone position. The decedent's head pointed north and her thighs pointed south. The trash bag was at the south end of the frunk beneath the body bag. The trash bag was filled and contained the decedent's dismembered limbs, arms with hands and legs with feet. The decedent's arms were cut and removed at the bicep, and the legs were cut and removed above and below the knees. Before moving the body bag, the handles and zippers were swabbed. The body bag and trash bag were moved from the frunk and placed on a plastic sheet. The decedent was then removed from the bags and they put on another plastic sheet. The decedent's left hand was missing. And wait, the decedent's left hand was missing? What? Wait, what? Oh, it was missing the ring and pinky finger. Okay, sorry about that. Hi, Lise, come on in. So you guys, the decedent was wearing a discolored tube top shirt, discolored underwear, black leggings, and black socks. The skirt appeared to have 3 cut artifacts. Oh, wow. The leggings were cut around the knees, with the upper portion on the torso and the lower portion rolled down to both ankles and feet. Oh. At the cut side of the right leg, attached to the torso, there were small blue plastic pieces. Also, the legs and arms from the trash bag had small blue plastic pieces at the cut sites. I collected the following items, and again, it goes over the swabs, the hair kit, the insects were collected in a plastic container with 70% alcohol and packaged and sealed into a brown paper bag. Oh my God. And then they did all the zipper and all the things that they said before. Over here it says the following items were collected and wrapped, and trace 1 blue plastic pieces on the right leg. and then the blue plastic pieces on the legs and arms. The following items were collected: leggings in 3 pieces, her underwear, her shirt, and socks, 2 of them. They also collected, placed, and sealed in the same black biohazard double bag. Okay. Detective J. Byers authorized the disposal of the bags on September 18, 2025. So there was a body bag and a trash bag. So they got rid of it? Oh. So they were disposed of. The clothing was photographed during the scene processing. Okay. And that's it. All right, so we're done this. So let me come back to here. Hi, guys. How we doing? Come on in. Welcome. Welcome. It's Saturday with just Jamie. No Dr. Vona. Why would they throw anything away? That's what I was just thinking, that I didn't want to say it. I'm like, I don't want to like maybe I'm just thinking crazy. Maybe that's something they do often, but Z Young's here. You guys, why would they throw away the bags? Maybe they don't need it at that point because they swab them? Yeah, right? Just keep it just in case. Me too, Lise. I feel like when they dispose of stuff, it makes me nervous. Ugh. I don't like that. All right, I'm going to go in my David tab in Discord. And I want to show you guys this. So hold on. So we have an interview of the... Wait, let me pause it.
People right across the street, one of the dogs died. We started getting this horrible...
All right, hold on. I want to go back to that. So, let's subscribe and like, just like I hope everybody does here. G. Dion Premium is his name, and he has 5.22 million subscribers. Damn, good for you, buddy. So we liked and we subscribed, and we're gonna watch this in a second. I'm just gonna make sure that you guys can see it, and I'm going to put me up top and then just take my video off while we watch this. I just always feel weird when somebody else is on the video and then I'm just sitting there, unless it's like a reaction thing, but this is more for evidentiary purposes. So let's listen in.
The people right across the street, one of the dogs that died, we started getting this horrible smell. She's like, so we thought didn't bury the dog deep enough. So if they smell it, he really can smell it. I don't know why he didn't just get rid of the body.
He just said, oh my God, I'm sorry I stopped that so quick. And I said, this isn't a reaction video. And then just said, what? What? Oh my God. Cuff, drop the link in. Oh, you did. Is that the link? I'll do that one right after this. So, wow, you guys. And we're not going to watch this whole thing. I just want to see some parts of this interview.
The only thing I can think of is a trophy of sorts for him.
Do you think the family is as quiet as they are because they knew who David was?
I mean, yes. I have proof that family members have been to that rental house before. I've been with David and Celeste. There's evidence that he met her, interacting with her in like a creepy way when she was 12.
So do you think David had help?
I think he had help. I think there's going to be other people that go down. I think there's going to be financial transactions that come out in this that are, if this goes to trial, they're going to show that there were people that were getting money and it's going to look really, really bad.
So when he says that, you guys, do you guys think that they're talking about the parents? He says it's going to look really bad. Is that what you guys think he means?
All right, what's good, YouTube? Today I am joined.
Hi, Mother Oats. Good. That's very insightful. The parallels to the Casey Anthony decomposition.
Here by Steve Fisher. He's a private investigator, and more importantly, he is also the one that has been working this David case day in, day out. I'm gonna let him introduce himself and his involvement with the case. But Mr. Fisher, I really do appreciate you coming on my show today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, call me Steve. I appreciate having me and what you do. Yeah, I'm a missing persons private investigator. I only do missing persons cases, and I'm also very involved in search and rescue. I got involved in the case with Celeste, the owner of the house that David was staying at, and Celeste had visited him and whatnot, got in contact with me.
What cute model guy in his videos? They're talking about the cute model guy he has in his videos. Hi, Colleen. So, yes, the parents got money. Oh, and or presents. So I also saw Cuffy said yes, $9,000 per month. So I believe that that's like what's alleged as far as it goes. And why would somebody give $9,000 a month? Just to me, it's because if you do 10,000, you have to report it to the IRS.
And because he didn't rent the house to David, he rented it to his management.
The house was rented out through his manager, but David was the primary person staying there?
Well, the owner of the house, or the owners, the husband and wife, had no idea who David was. The lease says it's for the exclusive use of Josh Marshall, his manager. So they had no idea that they didn't know, first of all, they didn't know who the singer David was, and they live out of state.
Oh, well.
They didn't know that somebody else was living there. So this, all of a sudden, their house is involved in a search warrant, and all this, this tragic event happens to this teen losing her life. And they wanted to understand, what had happened, because LAPD wouldn't give them any answers. And so that's kind of how I got involved.
Celeste's family.
Okay, so again, just in case anybody's like, wait, what? Steve right here is a private detective, and he was hired by the people who own the home that David was renting with his manager. However, the manager was the one who the house was being rented as far as the name, and David stayed there. So when this happened, allegedly the people that own the house were like, wait, what's happening? Like, they were so confused. I also do want to say this is from Z Young in our Discord. So thank you, Z Young.
Never got in touch with you to find her before. The only reason why you got involved was because the owners of the house had cops coming through their house investigating stuff, and they just didn't know what was happening.
No, I've never been in touch with her family. I've tried. I didn't want to push them hard though, so I haven't really followed up more. But yeah, so the owners were very it's never had anything to do with value of the house or lost value or anything. It's had to do with, they wanted to understand what happened there, because they have kids around that age, and they wanted to know if, on even a spiritual level, if they could go back in that house. It was really hard for them to fathom, if it happened there, or even in fact, even that it didn't happen there, just the fact that it's tied to it. They have some real decisions to make, and they're from out of the country, and so they don't really understand the laws and everything. So they said, listen, we want to find out what happened. They wanted to know what the truth was, and they wanted to make sure that Celeste, got justice if she needed to get justice. Because remember, at that time too, they're telling us there might not be any crime here beyond concealment of a body, which was never true. I don't know why LAPD came out and said that, but they were making it sound like this might have been like an overdose or something, and they made a bad decision.
This is my thing. Let's say that was the truth, and that's what it was, which we now know that it wasn't. The fact that there's a body of a child in the front of someone's car, isn't that enough? Right? That's all, And Mother Oates says, I could never be a landlord, never. So, Mother Oates, just real quick story time. I am a landlord. And you're right. The guy who rents from me tried to sell my rental on TikTok. My whole house, not the rental. He tried to sell my house on TikTok. He went through my house and did a video. And he was trying to sell my house. So, you're not wrong. I told you I have a ton of jobs, you guys.
Nothing like that. It was never anything like that. This was a guy who's a predator. I don't know why it took this long to get where we're at. I'm glad there's finally justice is coming, and it doesn't seem like there was this real urge. It wasn't maybe the
sense of urgency.
Yes, exactly.
The house that David was renting at, that the owners hired you, Celeste has been to that house, correct?
She has, yeah.
Was that the house that they're pursuing that all of this went down at?
It's the house that, when they say, she was lured to, I'll tell you this, we don't know exactly where it happened. But we're trying to figure that out, and we're also trying to find out where, the murder weapons may be. And not only the murder weapon, but also the dismemberment tools that were used.
After all of this started coming out, was David still tied to that house?
No, so as far as we know, the way it happened was David was on tour when this news broke, even of the car being LAPD initially being called to the tow yard because of a foul smell and flies circling the car. He was on tour, and so it came out that, hey, there's been a body found in a car that's registered to David. They had no idea, well, the public had no idea that it was Celeste. People in his Discord had a good idea.
That's a good point. So he said in his Discord, people in his Discord, you guys, definitely immediately were like, is that Celeste?
Who it was, though. He continued on with his tour. It wasn't until they identified her as Celeste, it was a documented missing person out of Lake Elsinore, which is like 80 miles away from LA, that they finally called the tour off. But he just kept plugging away. He never made a comment about it. The only comment they made was his press people said that they were cooperating with LAPD, which they never were, which we're going to find out they never were. That was a lie. They just wanted to keep going. And it did
That's
keep
right.
going. And then when they did call it off, he's never made a comment, and he was never seen in public again.
Okay, so that's what he says. I need to find the video where Zav reads a text message that David allegedly has, like a text back and forth with someone after this happens.
And he was in West Hollywood, very close to
Did he go back to the house that the manager had rented, or did he go somewhere else?
So what happened was, after she was identified, they served a search warrant. LAPD served a search warrant on the house the next day. I believe it was September 17th. His management contacted the owner and basically said they were breaking the lease. You know, they were going to have the movers come the next day, which they did, and they came and they grabbed certain things, but they left a lot behind. And they basically then said, you know, anything that's left behind, just do what you want with. We're out. He's never seen again. Now we find out that he was in another rental house just a few miles away.
Like, what a lot of people are kind of confused with, and I was hoping that you could kind of break down better for us, is the car was reported to be a couple blocks away from his house. That house, was it the house that the owners that you work with had? Okay, so
whenever I say the house, I'm talking about my client's house, which is, some people call it the mansion or whatever. It's the only house that we were aware of at the time that he was living in. Now, there is a house before the lease started, which he did that famous live stream from, the delete everything, where Celeste in that one. That was actually filmed.
So was that Celeste? So a lot of people say that was the other Celeste in that. So that live stream, that was Celeste in that live stream.
The one where she talks about R-ing kids, and he says delete everything. That's Celeste.
Do you know when that stream had happened?
Gosh, if I remember right, that was like January of 24. That was right before she ran away the first time.
It's so interesting, right, you guys? And you have the photo. It was on April 27th. Can you drop it in Discord? It was on April 27th. Oh, are you talking about the one, right? It was like a conversation between him and someone else, and the other person's like, hey, what's been going on? And he like answers back, if so, can you please drop that in Discord?
Might have the date off by a little bit, but
thank you.
So, and then right after that is when she starts running away. And she has these series of runaway events. But it was no secret that she was with him. In fact, somebody close to the situation, her family, the school where she was going, wrote his management by email and said, you know, paraphrasing it, there's a rumor that David might be involved in the disappearance of 13-year-old, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. If that's true, please make sure she gets home quickly. And she got home. She arrived the next day. And that email was received by his management company, and they did send it to him. I have proof of that. He was aware of it. So then she arrives back home, but then she runs away again. He was great.
Wow, you guys, I don't know that we, or at least I didn't know 100% that he says that he has evidence that David got that email, and then Celeste does go home, and she comes back, but she goes home for a little bit, which just goes to show that they must have said something, right?
Grooming her, he's a predator, and this is not the only girl he was involved with that was underage. When Celeste ran away on Valentine's Day, she showed up in the area This is the exact same day that they're actually taking possession of the new house that they rented, my client's house.
Yes, sir.
Of course, my client thinks it's Josh Marshall, his manager, but they take possession of it. So on that day, he's got Celeste runs away that day, and she's at the old house, the one where they did that live stream, delete everything, and he's got another minor at the new house,
Wow.
a mile and a half away, and I've got pictures of that. So, that can be.
This is
Wait,
kind of
what?
all new about there being like a new minor. If you
What? Did he just say? Whether he's chasing media visibility or not, if he's got the deets, what's up, you guys, what the F did he just say? OMG, he had one minor Celeste in one house and another one in another. Is that what he just said?
can reveal, how old was this other minor that David was dealing
Wow.
with?
She was 16 and 17.
She was 16.
This was going on for a while.
Wow.
I believe it goes back to when she was 17 for sure. But he knew, she was underage, and listen, it's kind of the same MO. It's kind of the preying on those that he can manipulate out of their environment. And there's others. There's another one too. So I mean, and I guarantee that there's. I mean, I can't guarantee, but
No, I mean, any predator, they're
my
always going to
guess-
have multiple victims.
Wow.
Yeah.
there's ones that I don't know.
I found
about.
it.
Yeah.
When I was in court yesterday, when I happened to be looking right at David, he was seated kind of behind me, and they brought him in an orange jumpsuit, and they sat him down at the table with his lawyers, and they handcuffed him to the table. I didn't know what was coming out of the prosecutor, and I happened to be looking at him because I was like, man, he looks so different. He does not look like, David, the artist. He looks.
Yes, Marilyn, there were multiple girls.
He just don't look the same.
What
And
the
so I was
F?
looking at him, and then they were talking about when discovery, which is all the evidence and stuff, is going to be delivered to his lawyers, and
Yes, sir.
and the prosecutor comes out, and I don't know, I don't want to get you dinged off.
No. It's literally say, like, you can. You
You can say that. Okay. So she comes out and says, Your Honor, one of the biggest issues is that on his phone there was a voluminous amount of child porn. Proper word now is CSAM, right?
I am so glad that they just corrected that, because that is one of my biggest pet peeves, you guys. Just in case you don't know, because I don't expect everybody to know, because there was a time where people just referred to it as child P, but it is not that. It is CSAM, child sexual assault materials. So, you know what I mean? Marilyn, I don't know that the thought is that he harmed more than just Celeste. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. But they found that he was dating other underage girls. So it wasn't like, it's going to be hard to say that, like, I thought she was 18, or, you know what I mean? Like, that's going to be a hard hill to climb. Also, just so that people know, technically, if you're dating somebody, let's say you're 17 and you're dating a 15-year-old and you turn 18, it is not necessarily illegal. There has to be 3 years. Not in every state, I know here you do. So it has to be either under 18, as far as like if you're older, or within 3 years. Because what was happening was, when people turned 18, if the mother of the girl didn't like the guy, she was able to say like statutory, you know what I mean? So they did pass that part of the law where it had, so if you're 16 and he's 18, I don't know that necessarily would have constituted being against the law. However, Celeste, it would. She was way out of that frame.
But she went child porn, and then she goes, and because of this child porn, I mean, she said child porn 4 times in a row. It was very intentional. You had to let him know, we know. He just stared straight ahead. He wasn't like, he didn't turn to his lawyer and like, what the hell? He knew, like, I think he knows that.
This is what reminds me of Stephen Stearns, is that, I mean, I don't know. Okay, hold on. Not story time, but let me just Let's do like clarify time. I don't know. That was a bad whatever, but you guys know what I mean. So, Stephen Stearns and David, for me, are similar in that they both are attracted to, I mean, if she was 11 when they first started talking, she could have been a prepubescent, right? So he would be a petty, right? Just like with Stearns, does anybody notice that when she gets close to her 15th birthday, she's no longer an option anymore? I always wonder if the person like ages out. I don't know what you guys think about that here, because he does have another girl at the other house that's 16, which would have been different than Stearns, right? Because Stearns doesn't have that other one. But yeah, we'll see. But here, you guys, that is very similar. Is that, oh, I know what else I was going to say. With somebody that is attracted to underage individuals, that is their sexual orientation, right? So just like if I were to tell you tomorrow to, you know, that you could only have sex with whatever it is that you're not attracted, not that you're not attracted to, but you know what I mean, whatever your sexual orientation is not, it would probably be very hard for you. So like, Harlot, if I told you, and Cuff and my other friends here, like if I told you tomorrow that you had to date a guy and that was it, and that, or you would just never date again, it would be hard for someone to be like, okay, sign me up. So I think we need to remember that when we're looking at somebody who's attracted to children. Just like someone in their 20s might watch Pornhub, right? Or Cornhub, sorry. A pedophile may very well now be looking for underage CSAM material to get off. So, you know what I mean? That's just, I'm not surprised, right? I'm not surprised. If they didn't find it, I would have been surprised. And I would have been like, you're not looking hard enough type thing, because like that just doesn't surprise me.
They got him dead to rights right now. So, but she made it.
Oh yes, DDWM, mwah, my makeup artist. It is 100% CSAM, child sexual assault materials, 100%.
It sounds like there's a lot on there. So I don't think
You
it's
sent
just
a photo?
Celeste. I don't think it's just Celeste and this other minor that I'm talking about. I think that there's going to be a lot that he actually was in communication with, and I think there's going to be probably a lot of that material that he sought out on the internet.
Back to the timeline. So I didn't know this. So it was January 2025 when that last shit happened, or 2024?
Well, she'd been gone well over a year when this was going down.
What the hell do you have? You have a voice chat? Send it over, Z Young. I'm in my Discord. I don't see anything new. Are you dropping it under the Celeste tab?
The live stream was 20...
You guys, hang on there. We're going to be looking at some interesting stuff thanks to Z Young.
January 2024. Then she starts, then in February, you know, is when and then there's Runaways, and then, you know, getting into around Valentine's Day, she runs away again. And then it's a year. It's well over a year that she's gone before we now know that this happened, according to prosecutors, in April of 2025. So she's gone a very long time.
Got it.
And that's been the whole thing, is piecing this together. Where exactly was she? Because we didn't really have evidence that, we had evidence that she had been to the house, but not that she was like living at the house. And David would travel a lot for concerts or whatever, and nobody was staying there. So we're like, where was she in all this time? And then we find out that she wasn't truly a runaway. That's the part that's upsetting to me too, is that her family knew where she was, and she'd shown up for like her cousin's high school graduation. She showed up at a family event. There's a video out there of her arguing with the next door neighbors in the apartment complex next to her house, all while she's supposedly a missing person. And so it's all very...
Well, what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? Oh, you definitely saw CERN vibes, DDWM? Yes, with like the Hello Kitty hoodie? Yes. Absolutely, I agree. Just like how Stephen Stearns is like the king of toys. Absolutely.
Frustrating. There's a lot of things, a lot of failures around her, and I understand she's probably.
Yeah, you guys, we talked about that before, about the failures around her. I do agree with that. All right, so this is what we're going to do, not to get like, I like to jump around a little bit to keep everybody's attention. So I know that our human attention span is only about 15 minutes. So every 15 minutes, you should be switching shit up if you're a content creator. But over here we have, which I should take more seriously too. But over here, is this Celeste, I'm assuming? I just went closer as if we're going to see her face closer. So tell me the relevance of this picture again. When was this taken? And then the next thing you sent me. Oh, no, that's the other girl? Is that the other girl? Oh, that's the other victim. Well, I'm glad that they covered her face, because I think that she needs to stay, as pure as possible. Okay, this next thing that we're going to see, you guys, oh my gosh, where the hell did you get this? All right, hold on, let me download this real quick so I can play it. Okay, you guys, so this next thing, again, thank you to Z Young. Yes, I heard you. So it's not Celeste, that other one, you guys. That was the other victim. So if you guys remember, we were just listening and they said that there was another victim. That was an example. I mean, not an example. That was a picture showing the other victim. Hold on. It started playing too soon. What I'm going to show you next is an audio. Where is it at? Hold on, I have to reshare my screen. Oh, that's weird. Hold on one second, guys. Oh, here it goes. I found it. All right, I have to share my audio. Okay, let me make sure you guys can see this. How far ahead am I here? Okay, you guys could see it. Okay, this is what we're going to do now. We're going to listen to... This is, if I go back, you tell us that this is a voice chat of David talking to someone the day after the body was found. Thank you, Zion. Oh, wait, let me rewind it so we can hear it from the beginning. It's really low.
I think it was Josh who did it, but also not at the same time. But I can't really say anything because my lawyers are telling me not to say anything. You know how it is. Yeah. This shit sucks.
Oh my God. So let me tell you what just happened. Oh my God. So he has two managers, and Josh, yes, is one of his managers. What an a-hole. You guys, if you couldn't hear this, it's really low. I should, later on, maybe I could boost the volume for us, but try to listen to this real quick. Wait, he said the real truth is, hold on, I have to hear what he says. Oh my God. You guys, if you hear what he says, please let me know. He just said, I heard it with my own ears. He said, the real truth is I never killed the girl. I wasn't even there. I have to rewind it one more time just to make sure that's what I heard. So that's exactly what I heard.
for this whole happening. I think it was Josh who did it, but also not at the same time. But I can't really say anything because my lawyers are not saying anything. You know how it is. Yeah. This shit sucks.
Wow, that is crazy. Were you guys able to hear what he said? So he said, I think it was Josh. First he says, the truth is, I didn't kill that girl. I wasn't even there. I hadn't been there for months. Yeah, I think Josh did it. My lawyer said not to say anything, though, to anyone. Da 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 da. Wow. Wow. That is crazy. What was the date of that? This was the day after her body was found. Let's listen one more time. It's only a few seconds. That's crazy, you guys. Thank you for sharing that with us. Oh, wait, my daughter just came up.
Are you live?
Yeah. Okay, ready? Let's listen one more time. All right, that was the worst time to replay that.
But also not at the same time. I can't really say anything because my lawyers are telling me not to say anything. You know how it is. Yeah.
My lawyers are telling me not to say anything. You know how it is. Yeah. That's what he says. Oh, Birdie, go have fun. Get something good. Yeah, this is juicy. That's crazy. Wow. Wow. You guys, that's crazy. And did anybody notice that he had You Made Me Feel on in the background? His own song. Like that, if that's not narcissistic behavior, right? He's like jamming to his own songs. Yes, that's okay. So Steph says that. Oh, hi guys. I'm right in front of the thing. Let me move that. Oh, I'm sharing my screen. Hold on, I have to unshare this. There we go. So Steph says that that might be why he's acting so confident. If you guys remember last night, if you weren't here last night we were talking about how we looked at the beginning of his TikToks and he was very, very self-confident. I mean, not self-confident, I'm sorry. He was very insecure when he first starts his TikToks. So much so that even what's going to become his #1 song, Romantic Homicide, he plays in Alvin and the Chipmunks for a while. It's not until people are like begging him to release it. And then even when he releases it, he says something like, nothing, like he just kept saying things like nothing like releasing something nobody's going to listen to and stuff like that. So you see all the people in the chat saying things like, no, you're great, we love you, don't do that, da 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 da, and then he'll come back type thing. The one thing he said was, he's like, I'm gonna delete this in an hour type thing, and he doesn't because it's still there years later. So his confidence starts to grow and grow and grow, and he just gets more and more comfortable, and he just, in my opinion, he is creating these characters and this story time, like this fantasy. And think about it, right? He did a lot, and again, this is jumping off with Jaime, not Dr. Vona. I'm thinking like a mom here. And he does, I know, as an educated mom who knows that in development that there is sensitive times of development. And sometimes when, you know, most kids, when they play video games and watch violent movies, they see it, they're like, oh damn, da 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 da. Maybe it's a scary movie, they get scared, they talk about it with friends, they move on. But for a few, they start to fantasize about it, and they get more, they get more and more and more and more involved in the content. And I saw with my own eyes David tell someone that he likes, what did he call it? He said he likes gore. He likes gore and gore corn. Okay? So, and this is the thing, I'm not a prude. So let me start out by saying that. Go watch all the corn you want. Be an actor in it. Make sure you're getting paid and that you have your contract. That's all I say. But do your thing. I am not judging until we get to gore corn or violent corn, right? That's what crosses the line for me, because then it says that I need something violent to get off, and eventually that may cross over from watching it on TV to watching it in real life. If you think about corn, regular ones that people watch, stuff like that. They might try something, maybe they see somebody try a toy or something, and then, you know, they say to their partner, we should try that. So it does obviously go often from one thing to another, right? So why would we think that that would be anything different with gore corn, right? Do you guys agree with that? Okay, let me show you next real quick. All right, let me show you what I have for you next. Next, we're gonna look at, all right, let me shut this out. All right, we're done with that. Next real quick, and then we'll go back to the interview. Here it goes. So next is Zav Girl. That's what I'm gonna show you. And everybody go subscribe to Zav. Oh, and then I'm gonna look at the link cuff you did. My bad, I'll do that next. But this is that message that I was telling you guys about. Okay, so here we go. All right, it's really small, so let me see if I can make this bigger. Maybe if I put myself at the top, that makes it a little bigger, not much, but I'm gonna read it to you guys. Oh no, that didn't make it bigger. Oh, there we go.
Somebody, he's in the blue.
Okay, so again, this is Zav Girl. Everybody go like and subscribe, okay? And wait, hold on, I wanna make sure that I like the video. I just came, so if you see this Zav Girl. Oh, I didn't realize that you could do that and make it bigger this way. So as soon as this is over, oh no, it's right here. There we go, like, and I'm already subscribed. So let's listen to Zav Girl.
And the other person's in black. So this other person says, yo, are you holding up? And allegedly David says, bro, everything is a coincidence. I never knew that 15-year-old. My music dropped way well before any of that. I'm so heartbroken. Wait. Let's see what he's saying, really. My music dropped way well before any of that? What does that have to do with...
She's so funny. Let me read it real quick, and then she's funny. I like that she goes through. She already covered this before, so she like goes through it as she reads it. It's pretty funny. You guys should go over and watch. But it says, yo, are you holding up? And allegedly, David says, bro, everything is a coincidence. I never knew that 15-year-old. My music dropped way well before any of that. I'm so heartbroken. This has happened. The Tesla situation, I can't talk about it much until court. Just know Rock Nation made me drop music on certain days, and considering the fact that I didn't want to do a certain thing, like we talked about last March, they still found a way to frame me. Now that I'm coming out telling my family the way they treated me, they have been trying to blackmail me and make up these things I would never do. I let the media do what they want. I'm not guilty in any circumstance. That's why I just take it day by day. I know this might hit Insta or TikTok, but tell my fans and supporters stay strong, and I love them. You guys. Like what? His lawyer's confident? Oh, well, that's not, you know. But you guys, do you see this? I don't know. This is Interesting. I think there's another one after this one. Let's see.
About last March, they still found a way to frame me. Now that I'm coming out, telling my family the way they treated me, they have been trying to blackmail me and make up these things I would never do. I let the media do what they want. I'm not guilty in any circumstance. That's why I just take it day by day. I know this might hit Insta or TikTok, but tell my fans and supporters, stay strong, and I love them. And
See, it goes on.
Oh, I'd like to see, can you show me where they admitted it, Master Deadcock? Wait, can you send me the proof that they admitted it so that I could, because I need to, that would be the only way to, you know what I'm saying? That I'd be able to, like, okay, I could exclude this, like. Anyway, this person says, this sucks, bro. Can I call you to talk? Do you need anything like this? Wait, do you need anything? Like, this is terrible, bro. I feel like you're trying your best, and that's all that matters, bro. Just keep your mind off this. And, Master, why I'm reading this again is because at the beginning of this live, somebody came in and said, hey, did you see the conversation with David after the whole investigation took place? And I said I would find it for them because I had already read this on a live. I think I read this on 2 different lives, and I said, let me find it. And I have heard about it. I don't know if it's true. I mean, I read it online, but I always said, like, I can't confirm it. But I said I'd look for it. So I wouldn't have read it otherwise again because I already have read it, but that's why I'm reading it again. Anyway, so this person says, this sucks, bro. Can I call you to talk? Do you need anything? Like, this is terrible, bro. I feel like you're trying your best, and that's all that matters, bro. Just keep your mind off this. And allegedly David, or supposedly David, however you want to say it, it says, thanks, my guy. I'm not really worried. I tried reaching out to my manager, but he in cahoots with Rock Nation, and things not looking too good for him. So he trying to push a narrative. On me.
Wow.
Wait, where am I here?
That's so funny. It says, thanks, my guy. I'm not really worried. I tried reaching out to my manager, but he's in cahoots with Rock Nation. You guys, come on. Are you serious? So now he thinks Rock Nation is out to get him too. Well, I don't think he thinks that. I think he is portraying that. But he also, in that thing that Z Young showed us, he says, and that was his voice, but he says, I think Josh did it, which is his manager. But here he's like, this is such, oh my gosh, this is such projection, right? So he's literally saying what's happening the opposite way. So he's like, he said, I think it's my manager, but I think he's trying to blame it on me. So on David. Wow. So he's trying to push a narrative on me. I feel like I've already said too much. I'll call when I leave the airport. I really appreciate you checking in. I haven't even been on socials since I've heard the news. Wow. So then the person says, so what have the DA said to you? And then David supposedly says, they know what's real since everyone's making their own narrative and situations out of it. Rock Nation is part of the police force. Stop, you guys, stop. Are you serious?
Is this sexual? Can I call you?
Wow.
Do you need anything?
Wow.
Do you just worried? I tried to reach out to my manager. I wonder if it's Rob or Josh that you tried to reach out to.
Yes, Rob or Josh.
And it says, but he in cahoots with Rock Nation, and things not looking too good for him. So he's trying to push a narrative on me. But what have the DA said to you? And allegedly David says, they know what's real, but since everyone's making their own narrative and situations out of it, Rock Nation is part of the police force in LA, bro. It's so hard. I wish I never signed them papers. They're trying to ruin me. Max signed, and that's when they start changing on me. It's so weird. I hate this industry. Bruv, long story short, I wasn't exposed. Wait. Long story short, I wasn't supposed to talk to my family until after my album dropped. And when I got in contact, they went through the phone records during my show.
Wow. I got bad news.
Why? Like, you can't talk after the album drops? Like, why? Anyway.
Yeah, that is weird. Excuse me. I hate this industry. So, long story short, I wasn't supposed to talk to my family. What does that mean? Until after the album dropped? Like, why would... Like, does anybody know why a music company... Like, does anybody know a situation where that would even be real? Do you know what I mean? Oh, there you go. Do we have a music industry person? If I was in this position, I would be lying like a rug too. I mean, what else can he say, right? And you could tell he knows better because he said in the one right before this, he says, I already said too much. So he knows he shouldn't be saying this. He can't help himself.
And when I got in contact, they went through phone records during my show. I got bad news. I'm sorry for all this, man. She said, I'm sorry for all this, man. I'm always here for you. Just pray and wish you the best.
Wow.
For El Brother. Okay. But yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, I was never able to confirm it. So I don't. But there you go. I don't even know if the person is in here. I told you though, I'd look for it. Is the person in here still?
So there you go. That's it. So that was that. Cuff you, it was a while back when you put a link in chat that we wanted to go to. Oh God, that was crazy. Is there any way you could do me a favor and repost that link? Because I don't know where it went. I'm looking for it and I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to wind up wasting time looking for that. You said, only thing I can think is that his family might be smarter business-wise and they don't want him to talk to them until it's too late. So like, in other words, I see what you're saying. Like, in other words, that the parents might ask too many questions or something. Is that what you mean? And like, I see what you're saying. But this is the thing. I don't believe that. Do you? You know what I mean? Aw, A. Higgins, I wish you were home. Oh, overly involved in contracts. That might be. Because the dad works with people that do like legal stuff. So, could be.
Every single day we're digging deeper into the David case, and every day the timeline just seems to get more and more sordid.
That like went crazy on me. Okay, so you guys, this next thing that we have real quick is we have from Trapmore Ross. We just found him recently. Go over and like and subscribe. It's like, it's always, it always amazes me how, like, he's got 453,000 subscribers. Like, how did I not hear of him? Same with the other one, right? They had like 5 million. So I was like, how did I not hear of you before now? But I'm glad that, you know, we're getting in the algorithm of other people too. So let's look at what he says real quick. He's going to talk to us about planning the, you know, the murder. All right, let me show this on screen. Okay, I'm going to do this so we can see our chat. All right, here we go real quick.
The big update for you guys, where I did a full breakdown of the new timeline that private investigator Steve Fisher put out there. We filled in a few of the gaps and really built up a very terrifying picture of what was going on in between the alleged murder and the dismemberment. It seemed like there were a lot of promotional activities. David flew out to play shows while the body was, I guess, in some people's opinion, still in his house. Could have already been in the car. It looks like he came back from shows to chop up the body. It's insane. But what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to break down the timeline again, but from a different perspective, because in this video we're going to look closer at the timeline as far as how long did David actually plan this murder. Yes, we now know that he has been charged with murder. It seems to be that there are official allegations that he was in a relationship with this underage minor, Celeste. We can deduce that from a lot of the information we've seen around, but now we have officially got it from the authorities that that's what was going on. But it makes you wonder, when did he plan to kill her? A lot of theories that have been going around is that actually their relationship ended around like September, October 2024. Maybe they were broken up for a few weeks and David might have reconnected. There might have been some threats. Allegedly, one of the special conditions of the charges is that David murdered a witness to an investigation. That investigation was an investigation into David messing with minors. So he had a motive to take her out. He wanted to protect his music career. But the question...
Oh, I see, meaning Celeste, that she was the witness to him because she was the actual victim. I get it. You guys. Oh my God. Story time. Do you guys hear my husband? He's pissed at someone. Oh my God.
The question is, when did it happen? He was accused of lying in wait, setting up a trap, inviting her to the crib, and then ambushing her and murdering her. But when did the decision made for him to actually kill her? I don't know for sure, but in this video, we will basically be taking a closer look and trying to get to the bottom and looking at some theories as to when actually he planned to do this horrible, horrible thing. So as you can see here from the criminal complaint, okay, it basically gives a couple of clues that I think are really interesting, because what's very, very interesting about this breakdown is that essentially, you know, it says the period of continual essay to this minor occurred on or between September 7th, 2024 and September 7th, 2023 and 2024. Now that's her birthday, interestingly enough. And there were rumors that he'd actually first met her on her birthday, I think perhaps potentially the year before.
Did anybody ever notice all the like numerology things here? Not numerology, that's probably not the word I'm looking for, but all of the new like numbers and things like that. He even said it in that I meant to stop it, but I didn't want to stop it again right away. But he said it in that text type exchange where he said that they had to drop. He blamed it on the production company, that they had certain dates that he needed to drop his music. However, it's very coincidental that these dates coincide with other things that are significant now after we know, or what we supposedly know, allegedly, if he did do this.
But it seems to suggest that perhaps their relationship ended after her birthday in 2024. Now, I don't know for sure, but I do think that this date, the fact that it isn't on or between September 7th, 2023, all the way up to April 20th or 23rd, 2025, that makes me think that perhaps there is some proof that the relationship actually ended. But even more dark, the plot to murder her must have occurred sometime from September 8th to April 2023, and we need to get to the bottom of exactly when this plan was made. So an alleged Discord message has been circulating from somebody claiming to know Celeste, and basically claiming the two were actually no longer together in December of 2024. So this is a very interesting Discord message. It says, last time me and Celeste talked, she was drunk and spam calling David. What's going on with that? Spam calling David. They have matching tattoos from when they dated.
Wait, what? Oh, wow, you guys. Think about that. That's so young. I'm not like a nerd or any. I mean, I am a little bit of a nerd, but that's like really young. I don't feel like I was drinking that young, but I was probably a nerd. Were you guys drinking like that young? I mean, I guess sometimes people drink that young. Oh, wow.
David used to have pictures of her up on his Instagram, but after they broke up, he took it off. Only thing throwing
Even with the tattoos.
me off is the age. I'm just going to assume she lied about her age to everyone in our friend group back then, because they did date, and then 2 days after that call with me and her, she deleted her whole account. Pictures too also looks just like her. No way it's another Hispanic Celeste with the same curls face and everything. It doesn't make the same sense. It doesn't make sense, okay? People saying it gets to a point with coincidences. Now, I think that's very interesting, and it's clear that the breakup took place. Now, here's where I think that there is a very, very good case to make for David doing a cover-up and David planning this murder and basically not being pushed because he made this decision himself and is disgusting, allegedly. But as far as the circumstances that begun to brew where he felt like the only way out of this was murder, okay? And it's not acceptable, but I'm just trying to make you understand how this depraved PDF murderer might have been thinking. So it's saying if they broke up, all right, they were together, she was drunk calling, they broke up, all right, and they're basically saying that that would have been the December. Now, this is when we get to this infamous image. Now, I believe it's believed that, I believe this picture was taken around December the 14th, 2025. This is the image that allegedly shows David paying off other kids that knew Celeste. It says, this was the pic bro showed me, I'm not capping. And that is David in a parking lot in Lake Elsinore. It's been geolocated. He's literally handing money over to kids, allegedly, for them to stay silent. Now, I wonder if this is a situation where they broke up. He needed to keep this a secret for his career. He had loose ends. He's doing anything he could to try and make this go away. He's paying off friends. If that didn't work, after this December link-up, that's when he might have decided to murder her. He might have actually crafted a whole narrative of bringing her back, getting her comfortable, and then murdering her, because we saw them together on New Year's Eve.
So you guys, real quick, not to like interrupt, but to interrupt. The other thing about this picture that is so interesting for me is that, let's just say that wasn't money in his hand. I think it is, but let's just say, allegedly, let's just say it wasn't. Like, let's say he's signing an autograph or like something completely that, you know, legal. For me, just as important is the fact that he's in the parking lot of her elementary school. Like, that just goes to show that he knows how old she is. She was in elementary school. Think about that.
2024 going into 2025, but this was just a few weeks before. So if they're broken up in December and she's deleting all of her Instagram, then he's pulling up to Lake Elsinore in his Tesla, handing out money to these teens that know stuff about it. It's not adding up, right? It's not making too much sense. Or it is making too much sense. It's not making sense why he would be doing this, but it is making sense why, if this payoff approach didn't work out, that he would then feel like, okay, well, I'm going to have to go to plan Z, which is unfortunately murder. So obviously people geolocated this. It's Lake Elsinore. We know it's Lake Elsinore. That's another picture of him getting out of his car, walking over to them, same fit, in Lake Elsinore. It's been geolocated.
Is that the Tesla? Oh my gosh, is that the Tesla? And A. Higgins was like partying really young too. I just thought about it, and my husband definitely was doing all those things too at that age. I think it was just me that wasn't.
The telephone polls. And it says popular artist David giving kids over $1,000 to keep a secret, and it involves a minor. December the 14th, 2024. That's when it was taken. So we know that now. What's really weird is obviously the rumor was that they were broken up and he was trying to cover this up. But, okay, here's the thing. On December the 30th, 2024, just before New Year's Eve, all right, David and Celeste would be photographed together in downtown LA. And these were pictures that Steve Fisher apparently got from the property. I guess the LAPD didn't search it quite well enough. And Steve Fisher, the private investigator, shout out to him, I will meet him soon.
You guys, I didn't know that Steve Fisher put the pictures out. What the?
He found pictures on an SD card in the property and he posted them. Right? I don't think the LAPD were too happy about this, but shout out to Steve because he's putting that info out. They got that work. Said on the night of December 30th through to the morning of December 31st, 2024, David and Celeste were together in downtown Los Angeles, where several photos were taken in public. Celeste was 14 years old at the time, about 70 miles from her home in Lake Elsinore. Whether she was sober that night was open to interpretation, but there's photo evidence of them together again on January the 2nd, 2025. Then on January 8th, Sizable Crew was filming a music video with David out of state, and by January the 11th, David is in his hometown in Texas, and on January the 20th, 2025, he's on a Delta flight. Question is, where was Celeste between January 3rd and January 20th? Can anyone account for her during that time? There were many people present at the music video shoot. Did anyone see her there? What about his hometown in Texas? Does anyone even have any proof of life for Celeste Rivas Hernandez after January the 2nd, 2025? There she is, right? They was together. He had this knife, and this knife matches the description of the knife that was used to kill her, right? It is what it is. This creepy bar.
Did he say it is?
2025. There she is, right? They was together. He had this knife, and this knife matches the description of the knife that was used to kill her, right?
Oh my god, it does match.
It is what it is.
Wait, we have to look at that knife again. You guys, look at this. Oh, wow. Isn't that a sharp edge on both sides. Didn't they say it was one edged or whatever?
He had this knife, and this knife matches the description of the knife that was used to kill her, right? It is what it is. This creepy barn. A lot of very unusual unanswered questions. Now, interestingly enough, during that night, you know, we saw that picture of David holding the knife, and I believe there were even other pictures of the knife. All right, there it is. I'm not going to lie to you people. I think that was the knife used to kill her. I think it was. That's just my opinion. All right, everything's alleged opinions, but that's my opinion. Okay. And SF posted, he said, David, were you sitting on this hill next to a drainage gully thinking about what you did to her? Were you thinking about how it looked and sounded when you sawed her body into pieces? Steve's doing a little too much with that caption, but hey, we like holding David's little tiny feet to the fire. And so basically the day after that, on the official New Year's Eve, December the 31st, 2024, that's when David and Celeste were actually seen partying with members of David's inner circle. Okay, so there would be this going around. SF put out a full post with more pictures. Said, on December the 31st, 2024, at around 10 p.m, several people were at David's house. Although Celeste Rivas Hernandez is not clearly visible in any of the photos from that evening, we believe she was present. The iPhone she had previously been pictured with appears to match the phone case seen on the table, along with a Hello Kitty mug. Another photo, which appears to have been taken by David, shows what are likely Celeste's fingers on a bottle. The phone that's likely Celeste's...
You guys, real quick, that Hello Kitty mug we saw in one of the TikToks last night
appears to be on the Wi-Fi settings screen and connected to the Wi-Fi network. Even though iPhones use a private Wi-Fi address feature, the address remains fixed for a specific network, meaning it stays the same each time the device reconnects to that router. Hopefully, law enforcement investigators have reviewed the router logs to determine exactly when Celeste's phone and everyone else's phones were connected to the home Wi-Fi network, and compare that information against the statements each person provided about when they were at the house and who else was there, including Celeste. For example, if individuals in the photos, including these photos, and many others, claim they did not see Celeste or were not at the house, yet the router logs show their phone was connected to the Wi-Fi, that would raise serious questions. We cannot forget about Celeste or the justice she deserves. It's now been more than 5 months and no charges have been filed. Now they have. The last photo of Celeste is not from that night, it's from another time and meant to show her phone to compare with the phone on the table. So I'll show you these pics, these images.
Oh, there we go. There goes Neo.
Something from under the desk.
That's Neo, right? And it says, most likely Celeste is taking this photo, and that is her phone. And there goes that Hello Kitty mug. And are these white shirts, like with the blood on them, from like his collection, if you will?
Because my feet are cold. And look, we got Neo there toasting up a bottle. It says most likely Celeste is taking this photo, and that's her phone. You can also see the Hello Kitty mug there. David's hitting a vape. Right, I don't know if he's going to be getting any vapes in the county. But anyway, they're saying that's Celeste taking the photo. Oh, sorry, that's David taking the photo. And the little yellow circle on the right-hand side there would seem to suggest that that actually might be Celeste's hand. And then we've got the next image, which is sort of a zoomed-in close-up of the phone on the Wi-Fi. And shout out to Steve Fisher. Honestly,
who's that in the shot, in the reflection?
I feel like my guy Steve Fisher needs to be in the official LAPD detective department, because realistically, he is doing exceptional police work. Okay, if you think I'm a snitch investigator, Steve got the goods. Steve low-key, he actually deserves kudos for taking down David. But anyway, my foot heater is now activated.
There you go.
So
wow, we usually don't see her face. Oh my God, you guys, look! I have the same cup as her. Oh, you guys, that's so sad.
That is Celeste there. I don't know if that picture was taken on the same day, but it's a bad look. And so within a day or two of this, we would be seeing another picture on the timeline. January the 2nd, 2025, David and Celeste would actually be seen at the Los Angeles National Forest, and there would be a bunch of pictures going around. And it was very, very interesting and coincidental. It says, David wrote an interesting word in the picture he took in early 2025, coinciding with the billboard. Put this up, all right? It says she could mean Japanese kanji for death. If you turn this upside down, this high looks like 14, which would have been her age. David put, my sight is beautiful. And then this was posted as well. So he posted this after New Year's. They reset this in LA. I want to go and see this at some point. But it's a list of how many smoking deaths are caused. And he said death from smoking on his Finsta. And this is when we're starting to get more people giving their theories on how premeditated this murder was. Says it's becoming more and more apparent that David likely premeditated and planned everything, and Celeste was unalived earlier in the year. It's getting more obvious based on various details. The pictures David took of the rock that says hi, which later Jin, big shout out to her for finding these amazing things, reverted the picture and noticed the number 14, which was Celeste's age at the time. It's possible that David intentionally used the word she. The letter S is unfinished on purpose, and not the other words on the rock. The Japanese she means death. The number 4 is also pronounced sure in Japanese, meaning it's the same word for death and making it a symbol of bad luck. David also has the number 4 in his name. Holy shit, I didn't actually clock that ever. That's crazy. Every year the billboard resets to 0 at midnight on New Year's Eve, and in David's video of the smoking deaths billboard, it displayed the number 1813 deaths, which was posted on January 2nd, 2025 with a Japanese caption that translates to death from smoking. Very like.
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that this, like, I feel like there's a lot of number stuff, and it is so interesting, but I don't know. This one seems a little much, no? I don't know. That's just a lot.
The same day where they were together and taking pictures of the beach, the National Forest area and Baldwin Hills, the smoking death board, him putting out Japanese heartbreak and goodbye songs on his Insta post, and David writing the word she on the rock. Seems like no coincidence he purposefully left all of this. David continued posting in Japanese on his Instagram account until January 28th, when he posted about feeling abhorrently sad of late. After that, he stopped posting altogether until May, which strongly suggests that Celeste was no longer with us by then. Okay? Interesting. So after this, all right, that's...
So he doesn't post for that whole time? You think it's a reach too, Steph? Just like the 1800 part, like the she thing, I get that I agree with, because he does do a lot of like stuff like that, and he does emulate Asian culture. But then like 1800, like that thing, I was a little bit like, I don't know.
When we get to what would have been allegedly Celeste's last known photograph, and it was on a camera that was apparently owned by David,
Wow.
and this potentially means that David didn't see Celeste in the days leading up to the murder.
Oh my
because
God, I
the
never
last
saw
time
this.
that David was seemingly pictured with Celeste was on January the 2nd. So it sounds like he pulled her back into his orbit for New Year's. They linked up, they hung out, they did their thing. He's out here posing with a knife, they're going into the woods. I don't know if this was him planning it out. And then by the end of January, he's talking about he's been so sad and he can't post. But she's still alive until April, and it makes me think maybe she was going to expose him. He paid off the friends. He got back with her thinking he's going to control her, he's going to control the situation. Things went left. He was abhorrently sad at the end of January, and at some point he must have concocted
Oh
the
my
plan
God.
to...
You guys, sorry to interrupt, but do you guys see the holes in this? Do you guys see all the holes? It literally looks like somebody got a knife and jabbed holes all over the sweatshirt. That's strange.
entice her back in April, get rid of her. Maybe he was threatened. Maybe the friends weren't keeping as quiet as they've been paid to be. But yeah, so this is 1 year ago today, January the 2nd, 2025, the last known photo date that Steve Fisher's investigation has uncovered of Celeste. It's important to emphasize law enforcement investigators have access to more extensive resources and very well may have images or evidence from after this date. So, that's not to suggest anything specific happened on that date, only that it's the last confirmed time and date stamped piece of evidence I have showing when Celeste was still alive. According to the image's metadata, the photo was taken at 5:05 p.m. on January the 2nd, 2025. Geolocation analysis says it was taken in Baldwin Hills, California. So it says after this, all right, David would post more photos to social media on January the 3rd, 2025. This was going around. David posted these on his Twitter. It says, took these pics while listening to album mixes. Now, this ended up becoming the front cover.
Hey, Higgins, I said that same thing. That, oh my God, I said that same thing. Could he have mixed blood into the things, even if for nothing more than just to be sadistic? He has fantasies that are things that the normal person doesn't usually think of, which is why I think his music was so reachable, especially for kids that were emotional, right? I feel like he knew how to pull in heartstrings. He called it, what did he call it? Gore poetry or something? I was like, wait, what? It was like something like that, like something like a negative connotation poetry. I was like, is that what you were calling it?
With an album with some animations on there. I believe this is the forest where he posted the picture of 14 spray painted on a rock. This actually does look a lot like the little walk that he went on with Celeste where she was seen in her last picture, but I can't confirm that. And that's David looking like a little bitch. So, and that's a hoodie that Celeste was seen wearing in the last picture of her that was taken alive. So again, just incrimination all across the board, non-stop incrimination. But it would continue on from here, and we're still wondering how and when, why he planned.
So that's after that, just showing that she eventually takes the sweatshirt off
and decided to execute this alleged murder. Okay, so the next thing would be on February the 4th, 2025. This is when David announces his Withered album would be released basically later on. But even more interesting, okay, he would announce in February the 4th, 2025 that this album would be coming on the 25th of April. And I wonder whether this is around the time he planned the murder, because I think there's too many coincidences. The album's called Withered, which is what happens to a body after it's beginning to decay. He posted decay a bunch of times on Discord. There's basically...
Okay, now this stuff I do agree with. And this has nothing to really do with like numbers here. This is just, I don't think these things are a coincidence. I think he does this a lot. I think a lot of his albums do drop on like her birthday, or like certain songs he used to release. So before he ever got with like a music company type thing, he would release his own music when he wanted. And he did it on weird dates. So all that stuff I believe. And this I do too. I think that he would fantasize about this, in my opinion.
A bunch of little hints that I think, just in my opinion, I think he might have planned the murder, and he might have planned the murder around the album. That's my honest opinion. He said, with the album, 25th of April, thank you all eternally for waiting on me. The album means so much to me. You have no idea the blood, sweat and tears that came with trying to create this project over the past 2 years. What else were you working on over 2 years, David? What else were you trying to do? Cover up blood, sweat and tears? Crazy. Constantly starting over and over and over again till there was nothing left on this audio landscape of a canvas than thoughts, melodies and emotions that were unequivocally me. Pre-order the album. Okay. I think he was planning it. I think he was planning his album rollout alongside the murder. That's just my opinion, okay? So the day before Valentine's Day, and this is a very important day for David, he starts teasing his bloody t-shirts. And again, it just makes me feel...
Last night, I was trying to make like a timeline of things. What's up, Kim? I was trying to make a timeline of things as far as his, how his fantasy gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Also, ooh, this picture is so creepy. This picture, you guys, just shows that each one of these shirts is handcrafted, if you will. Oh, this is too much.
Just makes me feel like this was premeditated. So it's a tarpaulin. This isn't the sheet she was wrapped up in. I've looked into that. There was a rumor that maybe he put real blood on these shirts, but I don't think she'd been murdered at this point. But I do think he knew what he was planning. I think he knew what he was doing. I think that this was all part of the law, and he got a little bit too wrapped up in what was going on now.
Yes, his fantasy went into reality 100%.
12th of April to the 20th of April, which is getting closer to when the murder would have taken place, David would be performing at Coachella, and he would be partying with his friends out there, and this is also where he would debut a new red tattoo on his hand.
Wait, real quick, before we move on to that, if you were the homeowner, look, if you were the homeowner, tell me you wouldn't be having a heart attack if you saw this picture. I would be like, you did not do all that. Like, oh my gosh. Could you imagine if that red paint went everywhere?
And he would be partying with his friends out there, and this is also where he would debut a new red tattoo on his hand. You've seen that.
You want to move? Okay. You want to move? Home to the dome. Don't bite your friend. Don't bite your friend. Don't bite your friend. Don't do that.
Tired of seeing these clowns around, but look, it is very interesting. All right, we've got to keep holding their feet to the fire. So, this is apparently where he revealed a new Jesus tattoo. Look at this.
On my hand it says Jesus.
There goes that tattoo. I guess it is a tattoo. And it says Jesus. Good catch. Good catch.
Jesus.
So what's interesting, right, is he debuts this hand tattoo. Now, we saw this in an image, obviously, I believe the day after the murder, and his hand looked a lot more sore in the middle from what looked like, you know, trauma from stabbing somebody and the knife kind of coming back into your hand. Now that we're finding out that he got this tattoo before then, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't potentially used as a cover-up for some kind of injury. I don't think he's that smart, but hey, it is an interesting piece of the puzzle. Now, we're getting closer in the timeline to the moment the actual murder took place. So on April the 21st, 2025, allegedly 2 days...
The fact that he, like, think about that. He has Jesus. Wait, in the same color ink as the David tattoo. Exactly. And this is Jesus. Like, just... Oh. And you know what else I feel like? I am almost positive, I could be wrong, like, but I feel like there's more detail to the ends on the other one, and there's more here.
Before the murder took place,
so
David would announce the pre-sale tickets to his world tour for a tour that would be beginning, or the pre-sale that would be beginning for his world tour on April the 23rd, 2025. That is the date. Pre-sale starts Wednesday, the 24th of April at 10 a.m. So I don't know if he planned it. All right. But that very date, okay, who's this guy he's talking about? He's the only celebrity to comment on this case. That's Cap. That's much Cap. But anyway, the day after this announcement and the day before the alleged murder, that's when David would post an interesting photo dump on his Instagram, okay? My last photo dump before my album drops, that's crazy. Also, the last photo dump before you allegedly committed a heinous murder that will put you away for life. Very interesting, okay? Got a different cross on his hand, or is that the same one? I don't know, but it looks different in this picture.
Oh, that was
out
different.
Here chilling with the guy.
Oh, you guys, that makes me think that was drawn on. Look at that. That, I now don't believe that was a tattoo on his hand. If this was taken after, you guys, look, this one has, remember when I just said, I remember, wait, is it the other hand? Let's see, hold on. I want to be right. Like, I don't want to get the, not right, but I mean, like, I don't want to get the wrong information. Where is it? Okay. Yeah, that's the other hand, I think. Right? The other hand, right? So there you go. So it's not the same tattoo.
That the same one? I don't know, but it looks different in this picture. Out here chilling with the guys. Won't be doing that for a long time. Very interesting. Straight crash dummy behavior, all right? So that's now we get to the current timeline. So this will be some stuff you've seen before, but now you've got all the context. You'll be able to understand it more. So on the day of the alleged murder, that's when David announces his album, all right? Is dropping the next day. Okay, not only that, he shows off the album, he's dancing around, but that is Celeste's handbag in the background, all right? We know that's Celeste's handbag in the background. So we know that she probably came to his property at this point.
And we saw that last night on the live I did. We looked and we saw this handbag close up, and we looked at the picture where it's him and her, and she's covering most of her face, except for like she's covering like most of it, with this handbag.
Brought her bag.
And there are her white shoes right there too, right by the laundry basket that's always there that he never puts away for some reason.
It was left there from a time before. But it seems like the best guess would be that she came to his property, she was enticed and lured to the property by him, and he's doing all this promo. He's still got a promo run that he's got to do. He's got to fit in a little murder while he's doing a promo run. It's actually crazy. So the murder allegedly goes down this very day while he's doing all this nonsense. And then the very day after, that's when he announces that his Withered World tour would be on sale in countries all over the world. So we don't want to get any, we don't give him any promo. But basically, officially on sale in every city, and the album drops tonight. Imagine him sat there doing these promo posts while a body is literally rotting in his property. It's insanity.
I never really thought about it that way, right? But that's the truth. So at this point, she's not dismembered. Like, he's still, like, think about that. He still has 10 days where he just is undecided, I guess, on what he's going to do with her. Unless he planned. What do you guys think? Do you guys think he planned that May 5th date or whatever? Or do you think, like, he just kept putting it off because he didn't know what to do? I wonder.
See. And he would make more posts. He would post about his album. Okay, my album out now. Let's effing go. Thank you all. Love you. He's out here cheesing as a body's rotting in his home. It is unfathomable. Now, if you want to know more about how he actually ended up going on tour and, you know, allegedly just swanning off after the murder happened, go and watch the video that I posted yesterday about the new David timeline gets even worse. That's much more of a look at the actual timeline of, like, you know, how the events went down and how the actual days around the murder played out. So go and look at that if you want more information on specifically what he was doing in the days after. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to just under a week after the murder took place to April the 28th, 2025. And what you'll see there...
So I believe that was on TikTok. That was the next thing that we see.
This is when David appears in an interview and he talks about his project. And there's some interesting tidbits in there. So we'll look at a few minutes of this.
Should we talk about, like, the interludes and, like, even the, like, the verbal exchanges? Because they really do punctuate.
So it's talking about the interludes and the verbal exchanges on the album. The album has interludes where Celeste's voice is heard. So she...
Oh, wait till you hear this.
He is dead.
Hi, Avery. Hi, Robin.
Potentially rotting in his property while he's off doing these interviews. Now, we don't know exactly when he popped out for this interview, but the interviewer is aware of the skits on the album. So it's likely, unless they got an advance copy and did this interview before the album even dropped, the album would have been out at this point, probably a few days before this, 3 days before this. And I wonder whether this was a quick interview they recorded and they put it out straight after. But the fact that he is put on the spot and asked about the skits on the album, he's talking about the woman he allegedly killed, is chilling. And seeing how he tackles this question with everything that's going on, just put your mind into this man's body. And just imagine, you're at an interview being asked questions about a girl that appeared on the interludes of your album, and she is literally at home rotting in your property. How insane is this? And for him to even be able to tackle this type of question just shows psychopathy on another level.
Wait, the album. And like there's some exchanges between you and a female, seems to be your love interest, right? What is that adding to the
Oh, confirmed, yeah? That's your love interest that's on the album. What's the underage one? That's dead.
story?
It's a whole different layer of depth for an album. I feel like, especially for me, when I'm having dialogue now and things that add to the story, I'm talking about the invisible string theory, which is a common theme and one of the most the motifs for the project.
The invisible string theory, real quick. He should give Celeste the credit for that because she's the one that brings it up in that audio.
Story.
It's a whole different layer of depth for an album. I feel like, especially for me, when I'm having dialogue now and things that add to the story, I'm talking about the invisible string theory, which is a common theme and one of the most the motifs for the project. I really wanted the listeners to feel like they're reading a book almost, and they're getting to a different chapter with every song. But there's also that kind of pause where they're going to take every song in by itself and then have this kind of visual landscape in this interlude to kind of be in my head, in my mindset, and why I wrote the project like this and how everything went, just to like keep them even more interested and connected throughout the project for sure.
Robin, thank you so much for subbing. Thank you. Oh, there goes my girl.
At the end of the interlude, correct me if I'm wrong here, she says, I love you. You don't respond. She says, I love you again. It repeats itself and you don't respond. Was that done purposely?
Absolutely, because the next song after that is This Really Love? So it's kind of like a lead into that kind of a transition type thing, you know?
So the fact that he is just smiling like a Cheshire cat while they're talking about, oh, you didn't say you loved the person back on the song. It's just dark. And the fact that he can sit there with a straight face and a smile talking about somebody that was literally rotting, who was on the album, is just insanity. So let's keep going for a few minutes.
So it's kind of like a lead into that kind of a transition type thing, you know?
I believe the last time you were here, didn't you say you never experienced love or hadn't been in love? You didn't?
Yeah, I was in a
listen
relationship.
to this. Listen to this. This is so telling.
But today you are? Or you
I've been through a couple. I'm single still right now, but I've been through a few, and they've taught me a lot.
Listen to how he just said that.
The last time you were here, didn't you say you never experienced love or hadn't been in love? You didn't?
Yeah, I wasn't in a relationship then.
But today you are? Or you
I've been through a couple. I'm single still right now, but I've been through a few, and they've taught me a lot.
Look at his facial expressions,
still.
man. Talking about I'm single still right now. You're not talking about how your minor girlfriend just got murdered days before this.
In a relationship then.
But today you are? Or you
I've been through a couple. I'm single still right now, but I've been through a few.
He does these little ticks. There was the other one where they were asking about the girl. He was like, "Oh, I can't tell you those for copyright reasons." He's got these tells. He's got these tells. He goes out of his body. He turns into a different person when he's confronted about some of this stuff. And I think that's one of those examples.
But today you are? Or you
I've been through a couple. I'm single still right now, but I've been through a few, and they've taught me a lot of things. And they've shown me what love is and what love isn't, and how to approach it, and how to be human with it, and not be so artist, you know, and not look for the things to write about in these types of situations. And I've kind of been more mature about it and getting emotionally intelligent with it. And with this interlude, it's kind of like telling my view on what the invisible string theory is, or the scarlet string, or the whatever. It's so many different names.
Is that like that? Is it also connected to like the rope that's around?
Yes, in the album cover, I'm covered in this string, which is representative of the invisible string theory. But throughout the entire project, I wanted everything to feel connected. I wanted everything to feel holistic and have a through line that everybody could understand. And with the interlude, it's kind of explaining from my perspective how it was taught to me, because that's a real conversation that happened.
Been through.
And the irony of it was that person that was saying I love you, she's not in my life anymore. So it's like
she's dead.
Yep.
What's wrong with this guy?
That's right.
Just gives me chills, man. Like, not in a good way.
And the irony of it was that person that was saying I love you, she's not in my life anymore. So it's like people say that the string can't be cut and the connection cannot be severed, but I feel like it can sometimes. And that's why I wanted to put, afterlife.
Severed, yeah? Severed.
Cannot be severed, but I feel like it can sometimes. And that's why I wanted to put, afterlife and all these songs that feel like endings and
afterlife, yeah?
Conclusions and goodbyes on the project to kind of solidify that message of this is the end of something, not the beginning.
Can you break down the invisible string theory?
Is it the end of something, the end of someone's life, maybe?
Yeah. So basically, it's like this. It's a South Korean ideology.
So anyway, all right, let's move on. You can go and watch this interview because there's a lot to it and there's a lot of self-snitching going on in this. But anyway, okay, David just kept on going with his life. He's doing interviews talking about the person he murdered, all right, in a weird little way. And basically, he would essentially go missing for 5 days. Okay, we talked in the previous video about the timeline in between him doing his shows and these appearances and these press runs. For 5 days, right at the start of May, he basically disappeared. He didn't post.
You guys,
in the days basically lead.
Let's real quick, since he was just talking about it, let's switch over to this. Cuff, you shared this. This is going to be Celeste's voice. So he just said in that interview that you have a lot of interludes and stuff. And this is Zav Girl. She put it, thank God, she put it in a short. Let's listen to it. Listen real close.
I sound so stupid right now, but like I've been so selfish and I can't stop thinking about you and what I did and how it's affecting like everything. Like, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I tried. You're special, David. I got a question.
What's the question?
Why don't you hold my hands anymore?
Oh, here we go again, bro.
Nah, I'm so serious.
Bro.
I'm so serious. Like,
Alright, continue.
I haven't held your hand. Shoot.
Sorry.
Like, you're
My
not
fault,
funny. I swear you're not funny.
I'm done.
Alright, let me think.
But so the timing.
It could have been yesterday. It could have
Okay,
been yesterday.
Wow, yeah. I'm glad you remember that. I'm glad.
Period.
Yeah, I hate when you say period, man. All right. I got a question for you now.
Okay.
That was so
Why do you
immature.
think we met?
Oh, I hate when you say period.
What I think
I can't believe he just said that. That was so stupid.
Have you ever heard of the invisible strength theory?
Oh yeah.
Exactly that.
Avery.
So basically,
I think I assumed everybody
we
knew.
met because we
So you guys, this is Celeste. Yes.
were supposed
Allegedly.
to meet.
Okay.
And we're connected because we're supposed to be connected. It's kind of like that, I loved you before I existed and I love you even when I die. Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, like, it's weird, it's strange, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
So don't leave me.
Nah, you got it.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. I love you. I love you.
What?
You're the one calling my phone.
You been there, been there, been there.
Calling me.
Been there.
Please go away.
Been there.
Why are you calling?
Been
Why are you calling me? Just call me. Say you're sorry. This. I didn't want to go and change the narrative and say something completely different.
You guys, hear that again. I want to hear this whole thing again, so let's just listen to the end. I'm hearing this again. This is crazy.
You gotta figure
Been
what
dead, yes.
Figure that out.
And what about the fact that she said I love you twice and he doesn't say it back?
Baby.
Wait, did he just say...
And then
I sound so stupid right now, but like I've been so selfish and I can't stop thinking about you and what I did and how
We
it's
just played
affecting like everything. Like, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I tried. You're special, David. I got a question.
What's the question?
Why don't you hold my hands anymore?
Oh, here we go again, bro.
Nah, I'm so serious.
Bro.
I'm so serious. Like,
Alright, continue.
I haven't held your hand. Shoot.
Sorry.
Like, you're
My
not
fault,
funny. I swear you're not
My
funny.
fault. I'm done.
Alright, let me think.
But so the timing.
It could have been yesterday. It could have been yesterday.
Wow, yeah. I'm glad you remember that. I'm glad.
Period.
Yeah, I hate when you say period, man. All right. I got a question for you now.
Okay.
Why do you think we met? Yeah. Why do you think we met?
Well, I think personally, have you ever heard of the invisible strength theory?
Oh yeah.
Exactly that. So basically, we met because we were supposed to meet.
Okay.
And we're connected because we're supposed to be connected. It's kind of like that, I loved you before I existed and I love you even when I die. Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, like, it's weird, it's strange, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
So don't leave me.
Nah, you got it.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. I love you. I love you. You're the one calling my phone.
you been there.
Calling me.
Been there.
Please go away.
Been there.
Why are you calling?
Been
Why are
there.
you calling me? Just call me. Say you're sorry. This. I didn't want to go and change the narrative and say something completely different. You gotta figure whatever you got going on. Figure that out.
Oh, Celeste.
TV. And then I sound so stupid right now, but
Wow, you guys. Oh my god, there's so much about this. I don't even know where to start with this one. This makes me sad on so many levels. So, I did see, you guys, I don't know if you saw this, but this was the opening of his tour. I just didn't listen to that end part. Like, I can't remember if it goes all the way to the end. I think it probably does, but that's how he opens up his tours, is with this phone call. Been dead, been dead, been dead. You been dead, you been dead, you been dead. That's crazy. Oh yeah, Steve's, yes, we'll do that now. So let's switch back over to the interview to watch a few more minutes of this, and then I'll get another like short or something up. That was crazy though, right?
Probably a handful. I get that. But the thing is, she's a kid. That's part of being a parent. She needed direction, she needed like a direction in life. And it's not okay. They knew who he was. And it's just, I don't care how rich he is. I don't care how famous he's becoming. I don't care he's living in a mansion and he can afford to support her. It's not okay. She's 13, 14 years old at this time. It's never okay.
What I found interesting about this case is you would think a lot of people close to him would be coming out saying things like, hey, this was weird and stuff like that. But you really haven't been seeing that. Prosecutors are saying that they've gotten people to cooperate. They said they have some people that are more difficult. Do you personally think, or do you know, actually, that people knew her age and just didn't say anything about it?
100%. Listen, in that Discord of his, there's people that openly talk about it. They're like, hey, are you still going out with the underage girl? Are you still there talking about Epstein Island? Are you and Celeste going to Epstein Island? Like, it's crazy how open it was. Not a...
The Epstein Island, those comments, some of them, excuse me, were done during that live stream where she says it's controversial for you to young kids or whatever she said there. So let's see more of this. Wait, let me move this over so my face isn't quite right there. See, I feel bad. I don't know whether to, whatever. I'm just going to keep it like this for now.
Secret, and the people close to him in his orbit, listen, they knew. I mean, there's live streams where not just the one with Celeste, but there's ones where he's talking to these two super young girls on I don't know what platform it was, but he's talking to them, and his friend Asia Collins is behind him, and he's laughing about the age of these girls, and he's gooning, and it's it's really frustrating because they have not they didn't race forward with information. They waited to the last minute to save themselves. All of a sudden, we find out one of his friend Neo has to be arrested to be brought in front of the grand jury. That's not how it should be. You shouldn't be. I don't care how close you were with this guy. If you got information, we're talking about a child. I mean,
now my only thing would be for Steve to think about is we don't know what, if any, Neo's involvement may have been, so that could have been a reason not to say something. Do you know what I mean?
There's evidence that
allegedly
he met her, was interacting with her in a creepy way when she was 12.
You posted something I think that is great on your feed where you showed a timeline that you believe what happened, because the prosecutors said, and correct me if I'm mistaken, they believe that the murder happened April 23rd, 2025, right?
Yep.
Can you explain to us why they think that was the day she was murdered, and can you explain the timeline of from that day until September 8th when her body was found? Do you think that he left her in the Tesla the whole time? Do you think her body was stored somewhere else and he just kept on moving the car? Why do you think he didn't try to dispose of the body? If you can, could you give us that whole timeline and everything, because I think that was like the best thing anyone's ever put out, where it's like something we could visually see.
Yeah, and a lot of this I'm just never going to understand, right? Even like what was going on in his mind. But so there's 2 dates that they put out there. April 23rd, they believe is the day she was lured to the house, and then some point shortly after killed with a sharp object, they're saying. And then May 8th, is either the 5th, or they have to look at the timeline, to be honest with you, is when they're saying she was dismembered. You got this gap in time where did he store her? You know, because you know, you're going on a week and a half, and that's the point of building that timeline. The timeline only focuses on this time period between the April 23rd and and May, when he dismembers her.
So there's one thing that Steve says there that I think like was pretty interesting that I hadn't thought about. He talks about how she was lured to the house that day, but he doesn't necessarily say, like, he didn't say like she died that day. He says shortly after or that night. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's suggesting something different. What I'm saying is, do we know if they think, they did say that's the day they think she she passed away, right? Just to be sure.
And what we're trying to do is just find out what his movement was, for one, in that time period, and also kind of what his mental state, at least public facing, was. And we've started to compile, then we learned, well, April 23rd is when they announced Wither Tour is happening. He had just gotten done with Coachella a couple days earlier. He's at Coachella, and then they announced the Wither Tour the Withered album.
And not to toot my own horn, but if everybody remembers when people were debating whether she passed away in January or April, I argued that it happened around Coachella.
Is dropping, and so on the 24th they have so we're talking just hours after he would have killed her, they have a album release party here in LA. On the 25th, he heads out to New York for a 3-day band lab pop-up in New York City. And then he goes to Houston, to his hometown in Houston.
Wait, he's from Houston?
He's from Houston, yeah.
Wow, I'm from Houston. I'm here, right? I didn't even know that.
So then he goes to Houston for a couple of days. And so he's moving on. Like, I'm talking, you know, he has if prosecutors are correct about the 23rd being the day, and I believe they are because there's somebody that obviously gave them the information, then within hours, he's fine. He's in a mindset where he's like, I'm ready to go to the party, I'm ready to go to New York. It's not affecting him. Now, we do see, it's kind of like this, almost like an adrenaline rush. There's all these posts, and he's playing these shows and these pop-ups, but then there's like this crash. He goes a lot more silent, you know, after the dismemberment.
Now, that is an interesting observation, and now that he said that, we're gonna have to go back and look, you guys. Not tonight, but like we'll have to go back and look and see, is that true? Because if that's the case, do you guys remember he, in the video we watched last night, says or writes or whatever that about him having bipolar disorder? That would be really interesting if we see like a manic-like episode where you then crash, right? Whatever goes up must come down. Wow. I have to hear what he just said again.
It's not affecting him. Now, we do see, it's kind of like this, almost like an adrenaline rush. There's all these posts, and he's playing these shows and these pop-ups, but then there's like this crash. He goes a lot more silent, you know, after the dismemberment. And he goes to Seoul, Korea for pop-up, and he's in Malaysia. It's really wild to see that. So yeah, so to get back to your point, so there's the murder and the dismemberment, and that. So our big questions are: where did he murder her? Where did he then store her for those 10 days or so until he dismembered her, 10 days or more? And then why does she end up in the Tesla? And why does she stay in the Tesla in his neighborhood? When I started interviewing with, you know, before we knew all these data points, I was interviewing obviously neighbors asking for video surveillance and whatnot. And, the people right across the street, directly across the street, and this is a neighborhood with very large houses and big yards and security systems and everything like that. And I was over at the house directly across the street, which is owned by a producer, and I was dealing with his estate manager. And she said, one of the dogs, so the property, it's a big property, and their fence line butts up to the road. David would often mostly time park the Tesla on their property line, off to the side of the road. So it butted up to their yard. And she said, we started getting this horrible smell, and we had one of the dogs that died, and they had buried the dog in the backyard. And it was like a husky, it was a larger dog. And she's like, anytime it would get over to be like 75, 76, 77 degrees, the backyard would smell horrible. She's like, so we thought we didn't bury the dog deep enough. So they were getting ready to unearth this dog and bury it deeper. And then all this happened, and the Tesla went away, and then everything was fine. But,
could you imagine?
So when the Tesla got moved, did that smell go away, and was the dog still buried?
Yes, and they're not thinking like, oh, the Tesla just went away and now it doesn't smell. They don't know why it comes and goes. It's not until after they find out, there's a body in the trunk of the Tesla. It's like, oh my God, the Tesla was, they have it on surveillance, of the Tesla coming and going. So at times, so if they smell it, then he really can smell it, especially at the house, because it's like a multi-story house, and there's live streams that he does where a makeup artist is like, oh, what's that smell, and it was kind of like,
when was these live streams like dated, right?
I think he live streamed from the house a lot, and so it was just like him and his friends, and they're filming stuff or whatever. There's a makeup artist.
And this is the same house that.
Same house.
So there was streams where the makeup artist would complain about a smell from the house.
Yeah, and so what it is, most likely, is it's coming from the Tesla and just going up through the windows up at the third floor. And they're up in the master bedroom's bathroom when this happens. And he blames it on, I went to the bathroom, but the whole thing is so wild. Like, if you dismember somebody, I know you never have, but if somebody dismembers somebody, you think they go ahead and just get rid of them, right? Like, if they didn't do it at the house, if they did it somewhere, and I think they did do it somewhere else, I think he had to have refrigerated her somewhere.
You said they. So do you think David had help?
I think he had help. I don't think he can do it by himself. I'm not saying in the murder itself, but I do think in the dismemberment, or at least the moving around, I think he had help. So, and I think people are going to fall for that. I think there's going to be other people that go down. I don't know why he didn't just get rid of the body. And that'll always be, I don't think he'll ever say why he did it. I don't think it'll ever come to that. But I think that the only thing I can think of was a trophy of sorts for him. And because listen, it's not that hard to go, you can drive 5 miles from the house and you'd be on Pacific Coast Highway and just let that Tesla go off into the ocean, off a cliff. Or have somebody steal it and get rid of it, whatever. Have it gone forever. He kept it. Kept it in the neighborhood. He was moving it around when he dismembered her. He started. People had reported to us that they noticed that it started being parked in different locations starting in May. He's keeping it close by, and then he goes on tour and just leaves it there. I don't know what he was thinking. Like, there's got to be some sort of. It's got to be some sort of trophy thing, because there's plenty of opportunities to get rid of that car.
With it being a Tesla.
All right, so I have to definitely stop and speak on that. What do you guys think about that? This is my thing. He shows, and this is just my opinion, and I'm only pointing out behavior. Nobody's diagnosing anybody. If you guys see the title, it said, what did I write? Something with Jamie. Jump off with Jamie or something. So we're not Dr. Vona tonight. Anyway, with that being said, I still have my same thought process. But this is so interesting. So for me, he's definitely onto something, I think, in my opinion, because the fact that David risks everything to be with this girl in the first place shows that possessive type attachment. It also, if you guys remember, he tells us that he had never been in love before, and now all of a sudden he has. He makes it sound like he's been in love like many times at that point, but you don't fall in love many times in like a year, right? So, but I do think he had even if it was an infatuation or something with Celeste, right? He writes a song about her, and he said, I smell her on my clothes like cigarettes. Like, just think about that in the song. I don't know. And the girl with my name tattooed on her chest, but really it's on her finger. It's so interesting, like the words to his songs, especially the one that is named Celeste. Also, that he opens his tours, like all the different tour dates, with that sound of her that we just listened to, that short, where she is talking on the machine. I don't know if it's the machine. I don't know if if they were on the phone and he like, just hit like record on his phone, or I'm not sure how he got that. But yes, I'm not diagnosing anyone. That's so funny. So, but the fact that he opens up with that even after she dies, like, think about that. I don't know. I think there is a big possession, infatuation, or like fantasy driven type thing here. Who knows? Maybe. And again, this again is just, I'm just throwing this out there, but what if he was hoping that by the time he gets back, she's skeletonized, and then he can, I guess, store her differently somewhere? Could you imagine if he I don't know. What do you guys think? Because why wouldn't he just, I think that often, why did he keep it in that car for so long and just moving around? And if the people, like the makeup artists and all, because I did see that, that video where they're like, they talk about how it smells, and the girl says that she pooped twice or something, and he's like, oh, I just pooped too, or whatever. But I saw this video that he's talking about. So like, even at that point, you would think like, okay, I need to do something about this. Like, so the fact that he doesn't.
What I'm thinking they can do is they could probably. I don't know if you know this information, but was the Tesla dead when it got towed to the tow yard?
Yeah, so I don't know for certain. I think it was, though, and it appeared that Sentry mode was probably turned off because it doesn't appear that they got any meaningful data from the car itself as far as the cameras or anything like that, because otherwise it would have been an immediate arrest. I do think because of the length of time, the car was most likely probably bricked, but I can't say for sure. I don't think that there was a key with it. I think they had a force entry, and I don't know. It was going up for auction. He had never picked it up. LAPD processed it. They only kept it 2 days. They put it back in the impound yard, and I was watching it, and it was racking up daily fees, and then it had gotten to be like 3 months, and they finally put it up for auction, and it was supposed to go to auction like 8:30 in the morning, and a month or two, about 6 weeks ago or something, and I was going to go inspect it because they had open inspection, and then at like 10 o'clock at night it switched where somebody had come and with a power of attorney signed by him and a cashier's check and paid to get it out, and then they went to DMV immediately and put it into somebody else's name.
So wait, somebody from his team bought the car?
I don't know who. I don't know if it's his team. It's obviously somebody he knows in some way, or his lawyers do, or his management does, because he gave him a signed power of attorney in order to get it out of the impound yard, paid for it, and then they took it. And then I ran across it about 2 weeks ago. I ran across it outside of a Tesla body shop in South LA, and it's sitting out there. It's been washed, but it's I don't know what's going on. That whole thing's so weird and creepy. I don't get it.
I think that's what a lot of the people are.
You guys, what do you think should happen with that? Isn't that weird?
Like, because I was talking to a dude yesterday where he thinks David was framed, and his whole thing was, how could David be that stupid to leave the body in the car when the car is to his name and everything? But it's like the dude, something Wayne, the clown killer, when he would kill people, he would put them right underneath his house, and or Jeffrey Dahmer, he would put people right in his fridge, and so it's just like when people kill people, you can't ration. Because I hit him with that same logic. What rational man who's a multimillionaire can have almost any girl he wants of age would go after a little girl? And he could
exactly. It's like it's just not enough for them, I guess, in their sick, twisted, mindset. And listen, I am not.
It's not that it's not enough. It's that I'm not diagnosing, but if he is dating young girls, then he would be considered with having a paraphilic disorder. So. Yeah, I don't know how much of it is as environmental as that sound. That's all.
Not that it's as an investigator, I'm very much a Occam's razor type of guy. I'm like the simplest explanation usually is the way these things go. But I'll tell you, it's hard to get around the fact that his lyrics and everything. I can understand a couple songs, like okay, like these are things you sing about there, whatever. It seems very, very like this was his world. This like his lyrics talking about like I have text messages he sent to the girls of dismembered, anime stuff, but it's dismemberment. He was into dismemberment. It's just
so. That is so true. I almost forgot about that, you guys. There is videos. I don't know which social media site it was, but I did a live about it before, and we watched it, and you saw like the arm was chopped off. It was weird. Now I need to go back and find it, but it was like an anime, and the arm's chopped off. Like it gets chopped off. So that's strange. I wonder when that was made.
He was sending the other minors he was talking to. He was sending dismembered anime to them.
I'm not in the anime world, so if I say the terms wrong, whatever, refer me. But it was these anime characters with their arms pulled off, and you could see they would show the dismembered arm.
I remember that.
It's just crazy sick stuff, and this is before this all happened, obviously. But now looking back, you're going, wow, this is to consume this guy. This was his thing. This was his kink or whatever.
That is a good way to put it. He said this consumed this guy. So more than saying obsession, whatever, and he might, I don't know if he fits that. I'd have to, think about that more, but consumed is a good word, right? His whole life becomes this. And you could say that part of it is, like, up until a certain point, it's normal, because he has, I forget who it was, but I don't forget. If I saw her on here, I would remember, but her son he plays music, and he has like an alter ego type thing for when he plays on the stage. But we were saying the difference is he has no problem separating fantasy and reality. Here, I think because David wants to be accepted by others, and he wants to seem like big, like he's big and in control and powerful, that with that, I forget the one thing I was just saying before, you guys. I can't believe that just happened. It'll come to me. Hold on, give me one sec. Oh, I know what I was saying. Oh my god, that was funny. So, wait, let me keep going. What the hell did I just say, you guys? I just had an ADHD moment on the YouTubes.
It's just, this guy he had everything. Like, if he went to, he was a young guy. Listen, he's talented. You can't say he's not a talented singer, right? And the world, and he just overwhelmed him somehow. Like,
that's what it was. He was consumed by this. That's exactly what I think happened. And I think that consumption, because he wanted to feel like, I have to not look at chat. That's the problem. He wanted to be liked, and he wanted to be accepted, in my opinion, and therefore he connects. We see him connecting on all different social media platforms, but Discord a lot, right? Excuse me. He does like meet and greets and stuff at his shows. I do think it's interesting that he gets very, very defensive when, like, we watched this one video in one of our lives about, he was like at like a music festival with his friends, and they were like home videoing it, and they call him short a few times, and he does not really like it. So sometimes, like, I wonder if, I don't know how much that bothered him or not. I don't know. I mean, I do know, because you could see it, but there's just a whole lot that goes in that. My dog's gonna bark, so let me go bring him out real quick, and I'll be right back. But I did remember exactly what I was saying. I just needed a second. I got it
this
right.
became more important. I don't understand what it was he was trying to get out of life or whatever. Like, this is what got people never get a shot like this, right? Like, people that have that kind of talent, so many of them are just you never even know they're out there because they never get the shot. And this guy gets the shot, and what does he do? He takes the life of a little girl who didn't get to take her shot yet, you know what I mean? And never will get to, and who knows what she could have been. Who cares if she was anything? She became anything, but she's a human being, and he treated her like he owned her.
He just said he treated it like he owned her. And that's the problem here, right? Because if she threatens to move on, and think about it, as you get older, you get, she might have felt more encouraged to speak her voice and felt more powerful to do so. So if he had, and I don't know for sure, but I see it too, just like he does, he becomes consumed with this whole fantasy world. And we see, like, he puts, like, his whole day, night, everything becomes his tour, his fantasy world, all the things. And she actually becomes his responsibility. Think about it. Like Steve said, there's evidence. Like, I don't know if you guys saw it, but I think everybody saw the one where she goes back and she's arguing with the neighbor. And the neighbor said that she's, they said they didn't say anything, like they knew she was missing, but they just figured she came back. And then we see another video where she goes to her cousin's party, and then there's like something else she comes back for. So she comes and goes, right? And who knows, maybe, I don't know what her family felt like. I wish they could have done more, but maybe they felt like it was that or nothing at all. I don't know what they felt like, I can't say. But he then becomes like responsible for her. So she doesn't have like a full-time job, right? She's not a content creator. So who's paying her cell phone bill? Where's she getting her new sneakers from? Right? Like all the things. And if we do find evidence that he was paying the parents $9,000 a month or anything for that matter, whether it be in gifts or money, that is going to be really, really bad, right? That's not going to look good at all. Hey, Billy, welcome in. Wendy's here. Hey, guys.
Or like she was his, and then when he wasn't happy with whatever, or he felt that she was going to harm his career, he didn't just kill her, but he cut her apart.
Can you explain to us why they charged him with killing a witness? So are they saying that she was a witness because she was wanting to come forward, or was there already an ongoing investigation before that she was a part of, and with her being killed, they could charge him with that?
So it's kind of both. She can be her own a witness to a crime against her, and now she's not here to be able to do that, to be given that opportunity. So it's killing a witness. However, several months ago, when they did that live stream with Celeste, that delete everything, we knew that it was at this other house, which is also on the same street. It's called Doheny, but it's in a different part of Doheny. It's by coincidence on the same street. So that house where that happened, I actually, that's under the jurisdiction of the West Hollywood Sheriff's Department. And so I went to West Hollywood Sheriff and I said, hey, can I get any investigative files that have to do with a runaway or harboring or any type of event at that house for the time periods of 2023 to 2025. And they came back and said, we do have investigative files that involves a minor, but they're under seal because of an ongoing investigation, and you need to contact the Riverside County Sheriff's Department for more details because they're the investigative lead on it. Now, that's the agency out in Lake Elsinore. So that's the agency, and we had heard that they had actually picked her up once out there at that house. So I do think, and I'm positive that they interviewed David. They talked to David, and they didn't do anything about it, but they talked to him. But I do think that there was some sort of investigation going on.
And this is before she was murdered.
This is before she was murdered. And so that was ongoing, and then all of a sudden this happens. Now, it doesn't mean that there was this, they were going, listen, she ran away again. She was in his company a lot of the time, so they weren't investigating it thoroughly. But the fact is there was an open investigation. So she was a witness to that, and I'm sure they'd gotten a statement from her, hey, what were you doing there? Why were you with him? How'd you meet him? Whatever. So she's a witness, so he killed a witness, and it doesn't mean that there was charges filed yet, but she was a witness in an investigation. So, and not only that, but she can also be a witness. She's now no longer able to be a witness into the investigation into what's happening now because he killed her.
So with that continuous sexual abuse charge that he got, is that only for Celeste, or will they also be doing that for the minors that you're in contact with that he was talking to?
We don't know. I can say that I'm pretty confident it does not involve the minor that I'm in talks with, just because I know what her communication with law enforcement has been, and the DA's office has been very, very minimal. If they were going to charge him with her, I think there would be more communication, okay, are you sure you're willing to testify, or should we just by written statement or whatever it may be? And so I can't answer your question. I have a feeling it's just going to be for Celeste for now, but I don't know. Listen, there's two things that I think are important that it's all important what came out at the hearing the other day, but two things to really keep an eye on is one, the wiretap. Because although states can do wiretaps, it's usually a federal thing because it's people talking across state lines, and that includes images being sent and whatnot. And then also the CCM material, usually the feds get involved in. So I would not be surprised to all of a sudden see.
You guys, I don't know. I think this is so important to have a public service announcement every now and then about this when it comes up. But I think it's important to make sure that everybody is telling their young, whether it be their kids, grandkids, whatever, nieces, nephews, anybody young, even if you send it because you want to, if you send somebody that's over 18 pictures of yourself, and I'm not saying that anybody did, I'm just saying, right? Even if someone wanted to, and I'm not saying that this person wanted to, I'm just saying, even in that scenario, that's still CSAM material. A kid can, before the age of 15, just at all, in all states, I believe it is, cannot consent to sex. So it doesn't matter. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you're 14 or 13, and I know this from, experience with people that this happened with, and without getting into it too much to, show who they are. But even if the person thinks that, like, I'm in love or I wanted to send it, it's still CSAM material. So if he had somebody in a different state that he was, whether it be in a forceful way or I guess what I'm saying is it doesn't even have to be or look like it's coercive control, which in some cases it is. But here, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. You think it's 18 in Florida?
Come down on him too.
That's good.
Short term.
So what would the federal charge be that they could get him on?
Possession of child, because they didn't charge him with like possession of child pornography, and distribution and stuff like that. And those would be just a stack on top.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't hold any. They wouldn't. The once again, the longest sentence obviously will be the death penalty eligible case of murder. But it needs to be done because we need to make it known that this just can't happen. I mean, it's crazy that this is still. These guys are still going after these kids. These are kids. Let them live. Let them live their life. Let them go and play with other 13-year-olds and do stupid kid shit that makes you what you are. Like, you know what I mean? They should not be making adult decisions of like, am I going to be going over and having sex with him tonight? Am I going to be going to a party, to a record release party? No, go play on the swings and shit. Like, let them do. We just can't like. We need to clobber these guys and these. It happens to the boys too. I mean, these predators. We need to eliminate them. That's what we need to do. And I just saw something go by too. I can't really read this goes fast, but something about the parents. Listen, I agree. The parents need to be held accountable.
I was just about to ask that because one thing about the parents is, usually they don't always have to say something. You know what I mean? The family has to grieve, but I feel like this was one of those cases where the only like statement I know that's out there is that the mother just said that she had a boyfriend named David. That's like the only statement from the family that I've ever heard that is verified from them. So my question was going to be like, do you think the family is as quiet as they are because they knew who David was and they knew who she was going to, and you don't really see too much of an intervention between them?
I mean, yes, I have proof that family members have been to that rental house before. I've been with David and Celeste.
Wait, her family has been to his house?
Family members. Like, listen, one of the first things I put down in this case was we know that David and Celeste were at Six Flags on a certain date, and we found a Build-A-Bear certificate from the Build-A-Bear place in Six Flags in her cousin's name at the house. And so it's like, wait a minute, so she wasn't really missing. You want to know, in my opinion, what the missing persons report was about? It was to cover their ass so CPS didn't come in and say, hey, she's not going to school. What's up? If she's a missing person, you say she's not going to school because she's a missing person. Then you don't have CPS in your life at that moment. And I said that I guarantee I know.
What do you guys think? I mean,
that they are. I know that they're grieving. I know they lost a daughter.
Yeah.
But goddamn, like you could have. She shouldn't have been allowed to be. She was gone a year and a half, man. A year and a half. Like, somebody should have said, maybe we shouldn't be letting Celeste live her own life like this. I don't care how much money he has, how famous he has. Maybe in some cultures they don't think that's that huge of an age gap. I don't care. These are the laws that you agreed to live under, and she's 4. She was not 15 like it says on her death certificate. She turned 15 the day before she was found in the Tesla. She'd been in that Tesla a long time. She was 13 and 14 years old when this was happening, and she should have been in school. She should have been. Playing video games with her friends and being listen, she'd only been a teenager for less than a year. I mean, think about that. I mean, it was her first year when this started happening, first year being a teenager. This isn't a girl that was, about to turn 18.
So could you see...
There needs to be accountability.
That's a good point.
With the charge, could you see potential charges being pressed on the parents?
Yeah, I think it's too...
What do you guys think about the charges for parents? How do you guys feel about that? Hi, Fancy Nancy. I don't know. I always try to put myself in the other person's shoes, and I feel like they lost a lot. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this, because I guess this is not my field. It isn't the legal part, so let's leave it.
Too high profile of a case, right? So they're going to say, oh shit, if we do that, we're going to have a certain amount of the people that are going to be like, I don't care if what they did.
I guess what I'm saying is, in a different way I could say it is, what if, and I don't know this to be true, but what if she runs away and they realize that the only way that they confine her, keep in touch with her. I guess you could also say that why didn't they have the police go in and get her? There's that. But we also know that she, like, we saw her running away. Remember that time? I think they said that, like, her mom was making her sleep in the same bed with her. And the one day she goes to school and we see her run away again. So what if the parents got to the point of where they were like, look, if it means, like, maybe they move the goalpost in their own heads to make it to where they had their kid in their head, like, where they knew where their kid was. I don't know. It just sucks.
Is wrong. They, you got to give them some space because they're a grieving family, and they are. But they've also got to be like, hey, we messed up.
At least it feels like
we messed up. And
Hi,
listen,
Laura.
there is, I think there's going to be financial transactions that come out in this that if this goes to trial, they're going to show that there were people that were getting money, and it's going to look really, really bad.
So, oh my gosh, man, I did not, because I was under the impression that they might have known that she was with him, but there wasn't anything. But you have verifiable evidence to show that. And when you say family members, you don't have to disclose who, but are these adult family members that would have a say in her life?
Yeah. Now, the one, and her name's already been put out there, is Esmeralda, is a cousin who was a senior in high school. But I'm not so much blaming her. But the thing is that Esmeralda's parents, who would be her aunt and stuff like that, knew. Listen, I have other proof against her, but yes, there was adults. There was several people in her family that knew. Listen, her mom admitted she knew she was dating a guy named David, and she said, "Oh, I didn't know." She knew who it was. I mean, he would come out there and pick her up, in the Tesla, and they knew she'd been found there, before. Police knew that she was with him at some point before that, because listen, the person that sent the email to his management saying, word is that she's with David. If that's true, please make sure she comes home. She's 13 years old. They only knew to send that to his manager because it was no secret in Lake Elsinore, where she lived, that she was with David, the singer.
Hey, Master.
Is that an email that you can't release out there just yet?
No, I have released it. It's out there.
Could you send me that email
hi.
so I can show my audience?
Sure.
Because I have not heard anybody report on an email being sent. So just for you guys that don't understand what Mr. Fisher's saying
like
is
you guys.
that
Steve.
Steve. So was it the school or was it who was it that sent the email to the manager?
So I can't disclose who sent it. I've disclosed the email with the person's name redacted from it, and I'm looking for it here. I don't know if I have it on this case file or not, but what it says is an email sent to David at mogul.vision. Mogul Vision is his management. His manager's name, Josh Marshall, has a company called Mogul Vision, and so. It was sent to David at mogul.vision, which is the email address, and it just said something, paraphrasing. Rumor is that Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who's 13 years old, maybe with the singer David. If this is true, please make sure she gets home safely. Her family misses her. Something that's very close to what it said, and she showed her up the next morning. So they got it, and I know David got it. I know for a fact, again, I can't say why without disclosing, because then he would kind of be able to figure it out and the person's worried about it. But it was sent to David from his management company, and they're like, hey, so and he then forwarded it to some people. But that was sent by a concerned person in the Lake Elsinore community that knew, it's one of those communities where people know each other, and especially around her school. It was not a teacher, but I will say it's somebody connected to the school. And
okay, I think, is this the email right here? I'm going to share my screen. So you posted this on your Twitter, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to share.
Yes, that's it.
No, Harlot, what he's saying is he said that he wasn't going to tell us, but then tells us. So apparently it was someone from her school sent an email to Josh, the manager, and told him that Celeste is a missing persons, and Steve's claiming, the investigator here, and he's going to show us now, but he's claiming that he got it forwarded to David, and that David then forwarded to other people.
They included a picture, the missing persons flyer in it as well.
So this is the email that was sent to
That's
David's
February
manager.
19th of 2024. I mean, this is how long...
She was 13 at this time.
Yes, and the thing is that, people knew she was with David. This is back in 2024. This is a year before, more than a year before we would even have, because it wasn't until September of 2025 that she's found. So all the way back in February of 2024, they're like, Lake Elsinore people know she's with David.
So my question now is, because in this email it says there's been talk that the artist David possibly has something to do with the disappearance of 13-year-old Celeste Rivas. If that statement holds any merit, please do the right thing and take her home. Her parents are very worried. Now my question is this person is not a family member related to Celeste, right?
No, she's not.
So if this random person...
He just said no, she's not. So it's a female from her school.
May have been close or whatever, but whoever this person was, they knew to send this email to this manager. Why didn't Celeste's parents reach out as well?
It's a good question. That's something we'd like answers to. You know, it's hard to, you know, at the beginning, we asked the same questions to ourselves, like, okay, why wouldn't the parents do them? We think, okay, well, maybe this is when ICE raids are really ramping up, right? And we're like, okay, maybe there's like a documentation issue, but that's not the case. And we find out, well, okay, so that's not the case. So what is it then, you know? And then things start coming out about, there's photos of meetings in Lake Elsinore with David with a paper bag apparently full of money.
Have you ever posted the photo of that on Twitter?
I think I have. If not, if you just search David, you know, bag of money, Lake Elsinore or something like that, it'll come up. It's a pretty well-known picture now. He's in a parking lot.
Yeah. So do you know when that picture was dated?
I don't remember the exact date. But this is during the time when she's, you know, when she's missing. So that's it right there. Yep.
So do you know who these people are right here?
I do. I can't say who, because they're minors too. I do.
Is it any relation to Celeste?
They're not related. I'll tell you, there are people now that are definitely fighting for Celeste, though.
There are people fighting for Celeste. Oh.
Yeah.
So, and this is him.
That's good to know.
This is Lake Elsinore, where she.
That's definitely good to know, right? So, and just, yeah, so has anyone heard that friends of hers were blackmailing him? So that's what I think they're alleging here, Fancy Nancy, is that it says the singer also was pictured allegedly paying use in Lake Elsinore area not to bring the missing girl's age or name up locally. Police officers with the Los Angeles Police Department discovered the human remains,
Lived and went to school. This is like 3 blocks from her house. Keep in mind, Lake Elsinore is about 75 or 80 miles from the house where David lives, so it's not like just around the corner. So he's out there for a reason.
I was gonna say, so
truth, there's like a lot of allegations that yes, that is true, and that it was like $9,000 allegedly a month, which would be under $10,000, which is what you would have to report to the IRS. But I don't know that to be true. That's just what's out there. So everybody do your own research.
Oh man, like the main focus needs to be on, because Celeste isn't here anymore, so she needs justice for her family. But I know you don't want to say it, but I don't care. I'll take the bullet. I see this as a lot of people in her life failed her, where a lot of this could have been prevented before it got to this point.
Or death could have been prevented.
You can say that this is victim blaming and stuff like that. Well, no, this is just accountability. This is a child, and a child needs to have some kind of guidance to keep people away from bad people. It doesn't matter how much money someone has, status or anything like that. And so because this is a lot of new information that I feel like mainstream media isn't like talking about there being 2 different houses. So Celeste went to 2 different houses, and one of those houses there was a case report about her. Where was it a missing persons case report, or was it a different type of case report?
Yeah, it stemmed from a missing persons case. So West Hollywood had apparently been asked to do like a welfare check or look for Celeste when she was missing at this house, and so they had an open report about it. I don't have the exact details. I can't get it because they've shut me off from it. But what they did tell me was there's an open investigation. So I think that's one of the that's one of the ways they can say that she was murdered as a witness. But it doesn't even have to be that. It can be to her own case. But it all just shows just by the dates of like that email that was sent and stuff. This has been going on for a very long time, and he wasn't worried. You know what I mean? Like he kept having her come back, and he wasn't worried about it. So I think there's a reason why we haven't seen a lot of statements. And like you said, it's about accountability, right? And I don't care if she was a handful. Maybe she was. And if parents get to the point where they just can't, they don't know what to do anymore. They can't.
Great point, Truth. So Truth says, shaking my head, we all thought we were grown at 13 or 14. Isn't that the truth?
Can't just let them be like, okay, just go live whatever life you want to live. He's rich. What could go wrong? That he's famous. That you can't like. There's as much as I hate the CPS system, there are systems in place by the state. You got to go. You can't just make a decision that they can. Well, she's 13. I guess she's got this. You can't do that, right? And so there's got to be accountability. I understand that. I'm sure they're grieving. I'm sure they feel a tremendous amount of But it's going to also be a learning experience maybe for other parents that this can never be right, and it's never right for these predators to because they.
So yes, this needs to be a learning experience. I'm going to finish up this little segment here, and then I'm going to switch over to something else to keep us.
See, these are the people they seek out. You know what I mean? Like David had his choice of a lot of different girls, and there's a reason he chose this underage one that probably had a lot of things going on in her life that she probably disclosed to David. She's a victim, and he just picked her off because it was easy to do.
Did Celeste have a father in her life, or was it just her mother?
Yeah, her father's still alive. I don't know to the extent that I don't know what type of relationship that was. I don't know what the relationship was between her and her mother even. I've heard different accounts, So I don't know. I don't think the family life was spectacular by any means, but she's the little kid that deserved, to be watched over and guided and helped and loved. And I'm not saying they didn't love her, but a year and a half she was gone before she was found deceased. And she was 13 and 14. Can't wrap my head around how
I thought it was a year, but either way it's too long. So I believe it was a year that her parents had heard from her last or whatever in April of 24, and April of 25 is where they think she had passed away.
You said a year and a half. That's because I feel like a lot of people think
everybody go hit like out there so that people could see the stream.
Year and a half, they had no was that year and a half really a year and a half of her missing, or was that just a year and a half of her just not sleeping at home?
Okay, so that's a very good point, and what we come to find out is it really wasn't a year and a half of her being truly missing, because she showed up at a couple of these events like her cousin's high school graduation, but we know now that she most likely was killed on or very close to April 23rd. The time frame from April 23rd to September 8th, when she's found in the trunk, is a long period of time that you think people would have been banging down David's door being like, hey, we have not heard from her, not even a hello or anything, what's going on?
Well, even before that, right? Because from a year before that, her parents hadn't heard from her either. So let me switch over to what cuff you just sent me. Oh my gosh, where is it? Here it goes. Oh no, you put the thing of FS Investigates. But let me go to this over here because you did put another short here that we're going to watch.
Telling my view on what the invisible string theory is, or the scarlet string, or the...
This is Viral Bootsy. Will subscribe and like, because that's just what you're supposed to do.
Whatever, this is so many different names.
Is that like that? Is it also connected to the rope that's around?
Yes, in the album cover, I'm covered in this string, which is representative of the invisible string theory, but throughout the entire project, I wanted everything to feel connected. I wanted everything to feel holistic and have a through line that everybody could understand. And with the interlude, it's kind of explaining from my perspective how it was taught to me, because that's a real conversation that happened. And the irony of it was that person that was saying, I love you, she's not in my life anymore. So it's like people say that the string can't be cut and the connection cannot be severed, but I feel like it can sometimes. And that's why I wanted to put, Afterlife and all these songs that feel like endings and conclusions and goodbyes on the project to kind of...
What? Hey, Travis. Wait, what the F what did he just say?
Solidify that message of this is the end of something, not the beginning.
And can you break down the invisible string theory?
Yeah, so basically it's like this, it's a South Korean telling my...
That was unbelievable. So there's a lot of people in here, and there wasn't as many when we first listened to this. I want to listen to this again. This is from Zav Girl. It's a short. Let's listen to it real quick. Let me just be clear. So this is Celeste's voice, and apparently he plays this at the beginning of his tour, of his shows on his tour. That's what I'm trying to say. So you guys wait till you hear this. Just wait.
Been so selfish, and I can't stop thinking about you and what I did and
Oh wait, you guys don't say it.
I just wanted to say
let me redo that. All right, let's start that over.
I sound so stupid right now, but I've been so selfish, and I can't stop thinking about you and what I did and how it's affecting everything. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I tried. You're special, David. I got a question.
What's the question?
Why don't you hold my hands anymore?
Oh, here we go again, bro.
Nah, I'm so serious.
Bro,
I'm so serious. Like,
all right, continue.
I haven't held your hand.
Like,
Shoot.
sorry.
Like, you're
My
not
fault,
funny. I swear you're not funny.
I'm done.
Alright, let me think.
Brother, so the time.
It could have been yesterday. It
Oh,
could have
okay,
been
yesterday. Wow, yeah. I'm glad you remember that. I'm glad.
Period.
Yeah, I hate when you say period, man. All right. I got a question for you now.
Okay.
Why do you think we met? Yeah. Why do you think we met?
What I think personally, have you ever heard of the invisible strength theory?
Oh yeah.
Exactly that. So basically, we met because we were supposed to meet.
Okay.
And we're connected because we're supposed to be connected. It's kind of like that. I loved you before I existed, and I love you even when I die.
Word.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, like it's weird. It's strange. It's unpredictable.
Yeah.
So don't leave me.
No, you got it.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. I love you. I love you. You're the one calling my phone.
You been there, been there, been there.
Calling me.
Been there.
Like, please go away.
Been there.
Why are you calling?
Been there.
Call me. Say sorry. I didn't want to go and change the narrative and say something completely different. You gotta figure whatever you got going on. Figure that out.
I'm Celeste.
Oh, Celeste.
Baby.
And then I sound so stupid right now, but like I've
You
been
guys.
so.
Is that not something else? I don't like when she says, I love you. Yes, Harlot, good one. Harlot says, remember in his lyrics, he says, I love how you hold me. I love how you hold me when you cry. I love how you hold me when I make you cry. I think that's what it was. It was so, I was like, that is so self-centered. I can't even think of something more self-centered than that. Hi, Just Think 2000. Where did the audio come from? So Just Think, if you look up, and I don't want to get copyright strike, but if you look up his tour, the Withered tour, he starts his shows off with it. So, and they show like, it's like all dark on the stage, and this is like playing really loud, and then he like comes out towards the end of it. But he says, oh, Celeste. Like, I get the chills when I hear that part because I'm like, what? Wait, what? Shut up, cuff you. What the heck? Oh my God, hold on. Oh, where is it? Hold on. I have to reshare this. What the heck?
Second announcement's going to be made shortly here.
That's so scary, you guys. Hold on, look at this. Breaking news. Shots fired inside the White House. Let's rewind it a little bit just to see what they were saying.
Really hear
This is Ikemo.
those loud
I love
noises, and then the security promptly coming on stage.
Oh, what's
back
going
waiting
on?
for the president, the vice president. Most of, if not all, of the president's cabinet is in this room. I imagine they've been moved to a secure location.
Wow. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Shots fired, they're saying. At the White House. They're having some White House dinner. I'm just hearing about this now.
Oh.
Oh my God, you guys, that's terrible.
Wow.
Did they get the person?
Hearing that there are armed guards.
Armed guards.
That are
Wow.
patrolling through the.
Wait, let me get a little further. No, this isn't live yet. This is, let me go further. Oh wait, good call. What's this?
Check out BJ on the scene. He was outside. A woman was arrested?
A woman?
They say they will be resuming shortly. We almost missed
Resuming?
that. Got right as they started.
There's
making
no
an
proof of
announcement. They said,
gunshots.
Stand by, they'll be making an announcement shortly.
They say Trump's
Y'all
coming back
could
on
maybe
stage.
consider this is an emergency announcement. Okay.
Still got this live vantage point of the room.
Was this
Got. And
on it?
Hey, we're show. Here it goes.
Thing,
I'm gonna bring it live.
President of the White House Correspondents Association.
Those folks with security personnel have been rushed out of the building. Wei Zhang speaking now.
We have an announcement. I know everyone's going to want as many details as possible, and right now we don't have that, but I can tell you that our program is going to resume momentarily.
Oh, I did. Thought it was.
And we will have more details to share also momentarily. But for now, please just be patient as we figure out just how much time it will be, but it shouldn't be that much longer. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Lisa. I don't consider, like, but the political thing, I think it's concerning when it doesn't, for me, it doesn't matter what president it is. It's not about a political thing here. This happened in the middle of our live, and I do want to hear something like this. So we'll keep it. How about this? We'll see if you guys, if anything comes up like a press conference, but I'm going to be hanging up anyway soon. I've been one forever, you guys. I think it's like almost time for me to go. And the Flyers are in the playoffs, and they're on too. So it's about to get loud here. So I literally have been on forever. So I know there's a lot of people in here, and I probably should just keep it going. Hi, Avery. Yes, it's historical, Avery. That's the word I was looking for. It's historical. This was that's a big deal when something like that happens. I hope they find out that there isn't anything that happened and that it was some false alarm, but I think they said that a female was arrested. So I'm going to be watching to see what happens. If it's real, exactly. I mean, it's on real news. It's on like CNN and stuff. But, But Fancy Nancy and everyone else, thank you so much for coming. Thank you to all my mods for coming. Thank you guys for joining me on this Saturday. I know I went live early, but I have to go pay attention to my husband too. So, and I'm hungry. It's time to eat something. I've been on for a minute. All right, you guys, I love you. Have a great night. This was a great live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let me also say really quickly, thank you again to Miss Birdie, if you're still here. Thank you so much for gifting the, whatever it's called. Yeah, you know what it's called. I just had an old person moment. The super chat, is that what it's called? Oh my God, you guys. I definitely need to go do something real quick. All right, I love you all. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you soon. I don't know when. That's the only thing about me, but thank you for coming. And that's why you have to put on your subscribes and likes so you get a notification. Love you guys. Have a great Saturday.